got arrested with a load of drugs on me. Got caught with a load of drugs on me. And that kind of made me... My mum had died a few years previously. I've been in loads of depression, fucking wasn't happy. But what cacao is doing, scientifically, it's pumping more oxygen around your brain. It's clearing and cleansing the capillaries and the arteries around your heart. But for meditation, you're less in the mind. For people who've got like constant chittavritti, we call it, like the washing machine thoughts of the mind, whatever's out of balance, it'll bring it into harmony.
Welcome, Who on Earth family, to episode 7 of Who on Earth, and this one is definitely the one that made me laugh the most. It's with Mr. Full Power Cacao. You may have seen him on Dragon's Den when Gary Neville was blown away by his pitch, Liam Browne, and we're going to understand where he's come from. This episode's called Dealer to Healer for a reason, and I really respect how much Liam doesn't put on this fake react. He don't try and impress anyone. He is unashamedly himself. And that just inspired me. I'm generally on that authenticity vibe already. So when I meet somebody else who just reminds me, yeah, let's be our unique self. No one else can be us. Let's go and show the world that. Then having a guy like Liam on the show, and he does it in a funny way. He really has a depth to him as well. So I won't ruin the episode. I'll let you find out a bit more about Liam himself. If you haven't already as well, I just want to give a shout out to his book, the same name as the episode, Dealer to Healer. And they've got, I'm a bit gutted, I'm going to be missing it. I'm going to be at a 10-day Vipassana retreat, but he's doing one of the biggest cacao ceremonies you could imagine. Like 350 people, and that's going to be on the 23rd of March. So I'll put everything in the links. Now, guys, with this episode, if you find yourself nodding along, you know, like the nodding dog, or you're even questioning something me and Liam are saying, or maybe you just get inspired by the episode, please don't keep it to yourself. Drop a comment. Let me know your thoughts. And if you haven't already as well, could you hit that subscribe button? Because trust me, it helps, especially a new show like this, more than you can imagine. Now, just get ready to laugh, get ready to cry, and everything else in between. Mr. Full Power Cacao is coming to you. But before he does, here's a few words about our sponsors. Transmute Studio. It's a new season, but it's the same old sponsor, and that's Transmute Studio. Beautiful centre in the centre of Manchester, Northern Quarter. It's got loads of the old stuff like the African drumming, the African dance classes. They've got salsa now as well. They've got the beautiful Arignani, ceremonial ecstatic dance with wizardry from the show, but also my alter ego DJ Moksha has made an appearance with his new ecstatic dance, Liberation. So, sound baths, Kundalini yoga, candlelit yoga, loads of beautiful events there. It's all about wellness, culture, creativity. What's going to do a better job of explaining it than my little mouth is going down to the socials, the website, and seeing it for yourself. So I'll put a link in the description, and you could maybe come float in one of them hammocks with myself. But for now, guys, enjoy the episode. Peace and love. So I've been trying hard to get you on, Liam. I was telling you a bit earlier, really just believe in what you're doing, and I wanted somebody, especially down that cacao route. So we're going to learn who you are. It's very much Who on Earth is a deep dive into the story of Liam Browne, the best we can tell it. Where do we come from? How did we start? But before we do that, would you be okay just dropping us in? Because I know you're also a facilitator.
Yeah. So if we just close down our eyes, take a big deep breath in, always using the exhale just to release, let go of anything that is going on. Just take 2 more of these. Big deep breath, filling the belly, filling the lungs, filling the chest. Just holding that breath at the crown, allowing the crown to activate, and then again just letting go of any tension. Releasing the tension from the shoulders, giving the spine a little wiggle, feeling the space in the mind, in the chest, and then filling up again, belly, lungs, chest. Let's just hold it a little bit longer at the crown this time, just activating the crown chakra, activating Ajna chakra, allowing the chakras, all the chakras to light up for Ida in Pingala, to start to spread that Kundalini energy up the spine, Sushumna Nadi activate, and then just release. Bring the breath back to normal. Just dropping into this meditative state and just asking for this podcast, this interaction between ourselves to be of the highest and best. I always bring Lady Cacao into the space because obviously that's my main offering is through cacao, through as a yoga teacher, through cacao ceremonies. So just calling Lady Cacao in. Ish Cacao, Cacao Deva, Mama Cacao, whatever she is to you, calling in Tikiara, which is Full Power Cacao's mascot, and calling in my guru, which is Lahiri Mahashaya, which is one of the line of gurus from the Self-Realization Fellowship, which is Yeshua Bhagavan Krishna Mahavatar Babaji Lahiri Mahashaya Swami Shri Yukteswar Paramahansa Yogananda. Paramahansa Yogananda being the most famous of them all. He's like the gangster guru that people know. And he's like all his autobiography of a yogi is that text that is pivotal in all yogic teachings. So just dropping us in now with this final little prayer, which is a prayer of abundance. It's one that I've used on my path from having absolutely nothing to really kind of evolving into somebody that can provide, can support himself, and can really support a community. So just listening to the prayer. O great Creator, we stand here in your name that we may be of great service to you and our fellows. We offer ourselves as your instrument. We open ourselves to your creativity in our lives. We surrender to you our old ideas. We welcome your new and more expansive ideas. We trust that you will lead us. We trust that it's safe to follow you. We know that you created us and creativity is your nature and our own. We ask you to unfold our life according to your plan, not to our low self-worth. Help us to believe that it is not too late, that we are not too small and flawed to be healed by you and through each other and made whole. Help us to love everybody, to nurture others' unfoldings, encourage each other's growth, and understand each other's fears. Help us to know that we are not alone, that we are loved and lovable. Help us to create as an act of worship to you. Amen. And then just bringing the hands into the heart. We do wonderful work in a wonderful way, give wonderful service for wonderful pay. Thy will be done this day. Today is a day of completion. We give thanks for this day. Miracle shall follow miracle, and wonder shall never cease. And then just lifting the arms up over the head. Just repeating after me. Matiosh, Matiosh, Matiosh. Aho. Full power. And then for even more abundance. Infinite Spirit, open the way for great abundance, for we are irresistible magnets for all that is ours by divine right. Bringing that in to yourself, all the abundance, all the golden codes of Christ-conscious energy, and then just giving some away. Giving it away, giving it away, giving it away, giving it away. Namaste. Thanks for having me, brother.
No, thank you for that as well. That was lovely. I think I needed more of that abundance talk.
It's the abundance calling.
I'm going to enjoy this.
Yeah. You got it. Like, there's a guy called Mr. Auden Allen. He's got this song called "The Abundance Calling," and it's like it's kind of like the second abundance song that he did.
Okay.
Because he's got this song called "Abundance," and it's about. It's like the abundance. It's on the way. 1,000,000, 1,000, 100. It's on the way. It's sacred drill. It's on the way. Wanting that all of that money. Want it today and today. And then he sang it at this ceremony, ayahuasca ceremony.
Okay.
And the guy was like, "Why do you want the money to be on its fucking way?" And he was like, "What do you mean?" He was like, "Well, it's never going to get there if it's on its way. Something's on its way. It ain't going to drop." So he wrote this other one. It was... That's the abundance calling. Phoenix fell out of ashes, man's rising, but no falling. And the abundance was there. And that's when his abundance started to come in. So it's like this power of magic of words, of realizing that words are spells. And it's realizing what we're putting out there, what we're talking about. Do you know what I mean? It's like, oh, I don't want to be rich. Why? Do you know what I mean? Or, I just want enough.
Yeah,
so that
that's
it's like,
a big
why? Why would you just want enough? Why don't you want as much as you can possibly create and have? Because then with that, you then never will worry about a bill. You'll never worry about how much something costs. Like, it creates so much opportunity. You can drop money for people all over the place. Bang, bang, bang. Do you know how when a billionaire goes into a certain town or a city, how they improve the economy of that whole place? Like, because they just spend. Like, a billionaire would probably come to Manchester, might drop a couple of $100,000 into the economy of Manchester.
You've already had that anyway, haven't you? You've been a City fan.
Well, yeah. Well, we've all had it, haven't we? Do you know what I mean? Well, I mean, in football, like, you ain't successful other than Leicester. You're not going to be.
That's not the norm.
That's an anomaly. Yeah. That's like you're doing a test and you just get this kind of mad result once, and you're like, where the fuck did that come from?
Repeat it. Anyway,
should we just talk about football for like an hour?
I could do. I watched United win a game, which is rare for me last night. But let's talk about you, because the audience has tuned in to find out about Liam Browne.
Yeah.
And I really want to now Liam Browne's in town, let's get to know who you are. So where is it that you started? Where is it you came from? You weren't always abundant.
No, I wasn't abundant at all. I come from, a background of like getting brought up in domestic violence, being like, just struggling as a kid in terms of always being in trouble, like just always being that like naughty kid at school.
Whereabouts? Living in Manchester?
Yes, South. So I started in Stretford.
Right, Stretford.
No, Longsight. I was born in Longsight, and then Stretford with my mum and dad, and then my mum and dad split up. We ended up in a battered wives institute for quite a bit. Then we got a council house in Wythenshawe. My mum's from Wythenshawe, so all her siblings like in and around the Wythenshawe area. My nana, until she passed a few months ago, actually, she still lived in Wythenshawe. No, I'm glad she passed, mate. She was fucked, mate.
I'm not gonna lie, that's how when my gran died, it was like, let go.
Exactly. My dad's at that stage now, and I'm like, I keep saying to people, I was like, I want my dad to die, and they're like, what do you mean? I was like, well, if he doesn't, he's going to end up in a home, and he does. I know he doesn't want to be in a home, so like, I want him to, as much as he can enjoy a quality of life. However, he keeps headbutting and attacking curbs, which is not very good for your face. It's not very good for your face. My brother will keep sending me pictures of like, fucking hell, Dad. And I'm like, because my dad's hilarious, so it's like everything for me, especially about talking about death as well. A Benivesha is like one of Patanjali's aversions to achieving yoga, and that means to remove the fear of death. When you remove the fear of death, then you can start living. When we can start having better conversations about death and not being like, oh yeah, I'm sorry, it's like, thank fuck.
What would you say then? So my dad died.
It's like,
what would you say to that? Because
I'm like, lucky bastard. Amazing. Like, he's in this infinite, like, he's got it, because you're restricted within the physical body of what you can do.
His shoes off and he can
man. And actually, because in his, I don't know what he was like as a person.
Lovely.
But I assure you, he's not as magnificent as what he is on the other side. Where if you saw what he was and how divine he was, you'd be like, wow, that's my dad. Like, and everybody on the other side, regardless of what part and character they've played in this existence, on the other side, they are beautiful. They are divine. They are magic. They are part of all that is. Do you know what I mean? They're part of some monadic presence, and it's like to just go, lucky fucker. It doesn't mean I would like. I'm so excited to die. I can't wait. I think it's going to be like,
it's more that. But this is me, and it's like if you got a new car, you wouldn't go, I'm sorry about the old car.
When you get when you get out of your Volvo, you don't think you're a Volvo. Do you know what I mean? It's like you're not, when you're in this physical body as Liam Browne from Wythenshawe, with all them, preconceived notions, all the characteristics, all the programming from being from that place and being in this body and having the parents. When I'm out of it, it's like, wow, just like infinite, like possibility, like what am I going to experience next?
Well,
do you know what I mean?
That's the difference. It's your attitude towards it. What's going to happen, or what's going to happen is the same words. It's the same end result, man. But you going into it. And that's why you could, maybe when I did Vipassana, at first it was pain.
Yeah.
After 70 hours, it's like, well, what is that? And then you go into it, you're like, shit. And the next thing you know, energy explosions and all sorts. But it's having that bravery to go into that thing that's going to make you grow. And to grow, it means you have to go out of the comfort zone, right? The universe isn't interested in your comfort, it's interested in your growth.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the only reason we're here is to it's like Mario. What level do you want to get to? What level do you want to get to? Do you know what I mean? It's like learn from everything, keep going back, keep failing, bang, keep going back. Right, I'm going to do that. But some people, it's like, oh, I failed. Oh, fucking, let's stop. Do you know what I mean? And it's that kind of like. And some people aren't even prepared to try something that they might fail of in case they fail. And it's like, try everything. Like Like when people are having mental health crisis, like my mates, I'm like, just go and try everything. I'm not saying what I've got will work for you. Come to a cacao ceremony, but it might not be the thing that breaks you through. Go to a Vipassana. My thing was, my big breakthrough, I think, was Hey?
I want to go.
Okay, sorry. Go on.
So I know
Wythenshawe.
we got excited. We're in Wythenshawe right now, though.
Yeah.
Mother's had to move to, you said, a battered woman's home?
Yeah, we lived in a battered wives institute. I had my 5th birthday in there, actually, which was cool.
What was that?
It was really frustrating because, like, they had this... we had some party and they had all the flat things at the same table.
Okay.
And they brought all these tables into one place, and then the table we got back wasn't our table. It sent me under, like, because I knew my table had a scratch on it, and I was like, why can't we get out? So I've always been OCD. My mum used to find me in the supermarkets. I'd be facing up the shelves. I'd be neatening everything out. I'd be working in.
My girlfriend's laughing because that's me. She has one thing at a place, and I'm like, "Is it?"
We must be from the same planet,
like, Isabella,
mate.
we've spoken about this.
Yeah. It's like my missus is like, I'm like, why would you not have your cans of tomatoes in a row? Like, because we know when we're out of cans of tomatoes, rather than like, I grew up, everyone I knew, you just had a tin cupboard. There wasn't an order to it. I'm like. When I figured out that an order made it easier for me to find shit, I was like, well, why wouldn't I do that?
Mine was a battle between my laziness, because I was like the high chair tyrant. My mum and dad treated me too well. I was like, gimme. You do the pots, you do the ironing, I'm not doing it. So when you're finally living on your own, it's like, but I was quite accustomed to that clean. My mum's definitely got OCD.
Yeah.
And it's like, that was quite...
But I don't think it's OCD, man, because I think it's like, it's just clean. It's like, why don't you want to be clean?
Well, in an evolutionary sense, the cleaner something is, the less parasites and bugs and animals are going to come in. But also, you'll be able to find stuff easier. It's just more efficient.
Yeah, man.
We got lost again. So you're in Wythenshawe, the table's scratched.
I'm a City fan. Just become a City fan.
So,
after you beat you 5-1.
Was that 5-1?
That was a long time ago. I was like 88 or 89.
Okay, well, I wasn't even born then, so I'm all right. 91's when I come into it. To be honest, me coming into this world coincided with United's rise.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so it's good. That's interesting. So you become a City fan.
Yeah.
How was that? Are you in Division 2?
Main Road, mate. No, that was after. That's what I said to Gary Neville on my podcast. It was like, 1999, like it was a pivotal moment for Manchester, like, and all the things that like have come from that moment. And I went, so how did you feel when Dickoff scored in the 96th minute against Gillingham?
You know what's mad? I was watching it. We used to have a caravan site in Hambleton that we had a caravan on, and I was watching it, and I got excited, and I'm like, but it was a mint moment for you. It was Kevin Keegan, right?
Well, it was Joe Royal, but most of the fans had left.
No, I'm thinking
everyone's trying to get back in. Then I'm
thinking of when you came back up from
when we
Division
come back
1.
up into the Prem. Yeah, it was Joe Royal. Yeah. Sorry, Kevin Keegan. Yeah,
but. For me, the football isn't just a load of men kicking a ball around. I think that's so lazy to say. Like, it's the camaraderie. It's I think the reason why I have such a resilience, which I think is one of the main superpowers you can have, is just because I watched United go to the last minute. Don't give up. Keep going. Even if it's 99 and you're in the final and we're 1-0 down and we're playing shit, Beckham's taking a corner. Don't worry. You never know when a Beckham's taking a corner.
Mate. Exactly.
So. What was it like then? So you weren't in the battered woman's home, I imagine, for your whole life. So
we got a council house in Wythenshawe then. Okay. So I lived at my mum in council house in Wythenshawe. Went to school in Wythenshawe, Cross Acres. I was just having fun, fucking about, like
said you were the naughty kid,
yeah, but I don't know how naughty I was before. Like my mum and dad splitting up had a massive effect on me.
Yeah, just
like,
a bit.
Yeah. So that was like. Because my dad was my hero, but then you see all the domestic violence, and it's like, fuck, man. But I still love this person, and then that has, for other adults, they don't understand that you as a 5-year-old still love your dad regardless of what the fuck he's doing, because he's your hero. You know what I mean? Because he's picking you up, my dad. Ultimately, my dad is fun. Still now, my dad is fucking hilarious.
Like your best mate.
Yeah, well, he's not really. He's just, my dad, to me, is like a funny idiot that I know. He's not like a dad, if I went to him with a problem, he's like, I'll get you a cup of tea. You know what I mean? It's like, there's no like fucking, let's sit down, what's happening. Yeah. It's like,
is that more your mum, or where's that come from? Because you clearly aren't like that.
I don't know where that's come from, mate. Okay. I'm not like anyone in my
you
family.
Might be
so
like
maybe
me, then.
like you, it's like, it's something like you've been born into this circumstance. Like my auntie says, how's this happen? How do you do all the things that you're doing? Where's it come from? There's nobody in our family like that. Wasn't exposed to anything like that. All I was exposed to was normal shit. Pub, violence, arguments, families falling out, poverty consciousness, football, like that lad culture.
Yeah.
That was all I was brought.
Man-clad.
Yeah. Just like mank work, but working class. Do you know what I mean? Working class. Even when we moved to my mum met someone, we moved to a place called Gatley, and I went to a secondary school there, so it was a little bit posher. So I was actually, in some ways, probably avoided me getting into the sort of darker kind of like, you know, I still ended up being a drug dealer, but the darker things, pinching cars, robberies, all that stuff, which was more so my mates that went and still remained in high school in Wythenshawe. Whereas
You've seen that.
Yeah. And
that could have been me vibes.
maybe, but you don't know. You don't know what choices you're going to make. You think maybe I was pretty mature and I would have made it. But however, your path, and you get there eventually somehow. Like, you know, not getting anyone pregnant was a blessing as well. Just like because a lot, you know, your loads of your mates, it's like you've got a couple of kids, and it was like it didn't happen to me, and it
Let's
was.
hope that the woman that you did that with was the soulmate that you found at 18, 19.
Exactly, man. Yeah. But I just see it as like it, you know, with those people that have kids so young and then they split up, it's like you've always got this thing, and it's beautiful for some people, but then it's always like you're always going to be in a relationship with that person, and you might not the kid. Obviously, you got to have an amazing relationship with the kid, but the person you've had the kid with, you are in a relationship with them for the rest of that child's life, or maybe the rest of your life, because you have to communicate. You might even when they've got to 16, and like, you know, you don't have to have custody battles or whatever it is. You're still going to be at the wedding together. You still need to like. It's like make sure you can have faith that you're going to be able to have a relationship with this person for the rest of your life. And if you can't, fucking man up and make sure that you make the experience for your child as good as possible, and you can be in a room with that other human being, because that's if you can't, it's immature.
Well, I see people
it's not
where
grown
like
up.
the mum and dad are shitting on each other to the kids.
I know,
and it's like, like,
well, that's
hell.
for me as well.
That's gonna mess somebody up.
Oh yeah, that's what I got. I got that growing up, and it's not cool. Or just with my stepdad, it was like always slagging my dad off, like your dad's this bump, and if I was your dad and all this shit. So then when I've got stepkids now, it's like I've never once mentioned the dad to him. Do you know what I mean? I could. There's loads of things I could say. I support them. I do. You know. They live with me, you know what I mean? They get taken places, they get clothes, but I would never mention the dad, and I wouldn't in public. It's like, well, not I know I have, but nobody knows who it is. But so for me, that was a good lesson, because it was like, oh, if I hadn't seen that, maybe I would be still doing that, because I'm not like really sort of focused on. I'm not gonna do that, because I've even for friends of mine that have got into relationships with people with kids, I'm like, don't slag the parent off to the kid. Maybe behind closed doors with your missus if you want to have a chat.
Fair enough.
But don't ever mention it to the kid. I said, because he instantly, because they're going to resent you to start with anyway, because you're not the dad and you're living with the mum.
And you badmouthing their dad, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but then if you start badmouthing, then it's like, for me, I was just like, dickhead, man, dickhead. Like, so this, you know, you're then living with another man who you think's a dickhead.
How was that? Because my mum never had that man come in.
Right.
That's why it was always me, my mum.
Yeah.
And I never had that stepdad.
Right, okay.
So how was that for you? Like, you said dickhead.
Just difficult, man.
Yeah.
He was angry, an angry man. He was just tension all the time. It was like my mum was in the middle of us and just wanted like to kill each other. And at the end of the day, I was 10, 11 years old, and I was a little shit. Right? Don't get me wrong. I was. You know, even when I got a bit older, the police would come into the house. There was stuff going on. I wasn't a perfect kid or anything, but ultimately, when I was like 11, I think I just wanted a man to love me. Do you know what I mean? I just wanted that, because my dad was here, there, and everywhere. I didn't see him regular.
Okay.
When I did, it was good and it was fun.
Yeah.
But I didn't see him enough. Like, he went and lived in Spain for a bit, and it was just like that, wanting that. Oh, just play with me, or just like. Love me, but he was very like he was a very like stern sort of Hitler-esque, because he was a football manager, and everyone was just like, how the fuck do you live with him? Do you know what I mean? I'm like, not very well.
Who did he manage? Sorry.
It was Wythenshawe Amateurs. Right. That's who I played for as a kid, and like into the senior thing in South Manchester.
Did that help you bond at all?
No.
Okay.
No. It was like I went to football with him, and as soon as the car journey to football was my worst moment of the week, because I'd be sat in a car with him in the front seat next to him in his energy, and I was just like, I can't wait to get out of the car, and trying to start a conversation and just be like, and as soon as I got out of the car, bump, I was free. And I was like with all the other kids from the other football players and managers and stuff. And it was like, I loved it. I loved going to that club, but it wasn't a bonding exercise between me and him. It was more like, it took me to this cool place, which I kind of appreciated because it was a big part of my growing up. But it was so, I feel the tension then talking about it. And when I was writing,
straight away you were like, no.
Yeah. When I was writing my book, it was a very cathartic process of writing those chapters about my stepdad, because I was like, fuck, that was, I take responsibility. I know all my problems in my life, everything that I've got going on with anyone else, or did have going on, not that I haven't got any beefs with anyone now, but like back in the day, is like, who was the most consistent person in all my beefs? Me.
Right.
So it was like, to look at myself, it's like, yeah, I was there.
There's two people in this relationship.
Yeah, and fucking, I was a little shit, and I accept it, I hold my hands up, and it was, but I just write about how it felt for me, how the experience was, and that was like really, I was like, fuck man, all this stuff coming up, and I was having big purges of emotion and tears just because little Liam was like, it was hard, man. It was fucking hard, and you got through it, and you're strong, and it was, to be living in a house with your mum, your stepdad, and your sister, and feeling like you're not supposed to be there. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? You don't.
That's your home as well.
Yeah.
That's maybe the bit you go to where it's like everything else is doing me head in, but that's my home.
Whereas it was like, I was sweet in my house until my stepdad got home from work, and then I was like, I wanted to check out. I didn't want to be there. Like, I went to my room. That was it. I was done for they didn't see me. Come for my tea. That was uncomfortable as well. Like having my tea with we had to sit at a table with my stepdad.
Talking daily.
Just like fucking. It was like another part of. That was like, I don't know, from like 11 till I left home at 21. So like 10 years, man.
Decade of it.
And even then. It was hard, but he's a great guy, supported me, like put a roof over my head. I'm not his kid, really respect him for that. And whatever his pain is, that has come from something else that's happened to him, and and he's a great teacher. Like, my dad's a great teacher. I had two men around me that showed me a lot of aspects of how I didn't want to be.
Anti-gurus, I call them.
Yeah, man. Like, fucking brilliant. Like, when people start slagging people off, I'm like, what are you going to learn from them?
Yeah.
Because they've got gold for you. They are presented in your life for a reason. And I think I've become a better man and a better human being for them two people being in my life.
You always have that mindset.
Did I thought? Fucking hated them. No, it was all their fault. It was nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
My mum owed me a lift for about a decade. It's like, you're the reason I've got a fucking trek back down to Flixton, mate.
It's your fault. You've ruined my life.
You're not the only person who thinks that. So, you're 11. We've gone into high school then, I imagine.
Yeah.
What's that like? What's the transition into high school? Are we at a poshish one, or are we around Manchester ends? Or...
No, do you know what? It's posh.
Okay.
For Openshaw, it's posh as fuck, man. But no, it was in Cheadle and Gatley, Kingsway. Right. And it was just, it was like, still sort of just football.
Do you like school?
I was obsessed with football. I just liked the
social aspect.
I liked the social aspect, and I loved, like, for me, being in a classroom and entertaining the whole class.
You enjoy
and
being...
ripping the teacher.
Right.
Like, I was in control. Like, I could make everyone laugh.
Yeah.
Like, I could, it was just, that was my place to just orchestrate, like, comedy. And just wind the teachers up. But not all teachers, because some teachers just earn you respect straight away.
Well, that's the
so
thing,
I'm not fucking about.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's not you, it's how's that person demanding your respect. Because then you go into another class with another man the same age, and you just destroy him.
Yeah. No, I know. I wasn't the bully. I wasn't like horrible, but mum and dad breaking up all the same sort of. I'm very close to saying are we the same person right now, but it's like, you're an adult. This child, you should know there's a reason they're behaving the way they're behaving, and you don't have the emotional intelligence to just feel the way you felt, and then just how can you help them? Not punish them or destroy them or show them you're a fucking grown up. What you want? Why are you trying to put this little boy down? Because that's all it really is. Yeah. When I see someone who's 20, I'm like, that's a child. Yeah. Never mind an 11-year-old or a 12-year-old. And my mum and dad have broke up. Yeah. And I get bullied. And you did. So it's like, and I'm not, like, again, that bitter part you could probably see was coming out.
Yeah.
Why is that not taught? Like you already know history. Where's the that side of things. Where's the I want to bring meditation into schools, not just for the kids, but for the teachers, just so that we can
just meditate. Just close your eyes. Everybody who's in school, go home to your parents and say, "Get me the fuck out of here, because this is gonna fuck me up." And when I'm 27, I'm gonna have to go to Peru and drink ayahuasca to cleanse all this shit that you put me through by sending me to this fucked up place.
I actually got into some grammar as well. I thought I'm gonna. I found that out later, and they were like, "Yeah, but the teachers thought because of your behaviour you'd struggle, or it might have helped." And we had do you know? Have you heard of Carrie Trio, Cushney Love at all? The conscious musicians. We had them on the show, and Cushney made a great point.
Kush.
Yeah, Kush.
Dreads. Got dreadlocks. It does Kush yoga.
Nah.
Oh, someone else. Okay.
Don't worry about it. And then he was like, "Yeah, but you can't hate step 1, 2, 3, and 4. That got you to step 5, 6, 7, 8. Like you would never have got to the place that you are now without that." And wait, actually, that defense mechanism of humor, you only got that because of the trauma, and now you're a funny guy. Like you're gonna hate being a funny. So it's bad or good, bad people, good people, bad. Or are we just putting labels on it out of laziness?
Yeah, and I think when you go on your, like, for me, when I went on my spiritual, like, awakening, I was like, I've got to take things serious. I can't be, like, making jokes all the time anymore. And I kind of lost my sense of humour a little bit for a while. But then I realised when I was, like, going through a load of stuff in, like, Guatemala and meeting these groups, I was still the one who made everyone laugh. Right. I was just in a bit, I was like, just use this, man, because other people can't do this. Just, like, make just say stupid.
Should we get inappropriate, though?
Like, oh yeah, totally.
Because I've had it where like I'm doing meditations before ceremonies, and someone was like, "Should I bring water?" And I went, "Oh, it's like it's a condom principle." And she went, "What?" And I went, "Well, you'd rather have it and not need it, wouldn't you?" And to me, that was so innocent. But to her mum,
see, I don't worry about that.
You had to have a word, and I was like, right, fair enough. Know the audience.
Sort of, yeah. But then it's like no one's ever said anything. No one's ever offended you. Ever. You've only took offence by something you chose. Everything, like there's a lot of Buddhist teachings that dropped for me as well. It was like, no one's ever made you angry. It's like my stepdad, fucking stepdad. And then it was like, no one's ever made you angry. And it's like 30, I think I was 31 maybe when I went to this Buddhist retreat. It's like, no one's ever made you angry. I was like, I'm not having that. That's bullshit. This is angry. Fucking Manchester train station makes me angry because the fucking things aren't in the right place. Pisses me off. And he was like, yeah, but that's always been your choice. And I was like, what? It's like always been your choice. And this wasn't a direct teaching to me. It was and I was like, oh, this motherfucker's right, man. This motherfucker is right. Like, I've always had a choice.
Always.
Oh, shit. Yeah. So it's like, it's realizing as well, like with that, we're in this culture of like, I'm going to be offended. Okay, go and do it over there, dickhead.
That's why I love the Ricky Gervais.
Oh, it's totally on point with the offensive.
It's like, I've told a joke. Yeah. It's up to you how you react to that.
Exactly, and it's a joke.
It's a joke. I love humour. Let's laugh at laugh at the dad dying, laugh at the horribleness, because otherwise it's got power over you.
Yeah.
Why are you letting that have power over
you?
Man. Making it so serious that you become so rigid that if anyone mentions it, like, you know what I mean? And then you're attacking them.
That's why, like, with the death thing as well, it's like, oh, my dad's died. Lucky bastard. Can we go into that? Do you know what I mean?
I appreciate
what
that.
A lucky bastard, man.
I appreciate you saying that.
And especially for people that, like, I can understand it a bit. When someone dies in a car crash, they're young or whatever, they were healthy. But when it's someone that's fucking old, it's like, brilliant, because what do you want to do? Just watch them fade away, struggle, fucking need help, need someone to wipe their ass.
Till it's a skeleton.
Do you really want that?
Like, lying there.
Fucking, if it was a dog, you would have put them down 10 years ago, bro. So it's like, your mum's just died, she was 87. Fucking brilliant. What an innings.
That's where with the dad, it was like, because it was unexpected heart attack at 66, whereas Gran and Grandad, I don't actually feel much sorrow around him. It's almost like, that was a good story. Whereas with his, it was like,
well, my mum died but then you have to go, it's not unexpected because everyone's going to die.
They died.
Exactly. But everybody's going to die. Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like everybody's going to die. Everyone you know.
We're not talking about that, Liam.
Every city that exists in the world is not going to exist at some point. Like, fucking... Like, it's like being scared that tomorrow the sun's not going to come up. It's going to fucking come up.
Well, you know the law of nature, right?
What's that?
So all must pass. It's the law of change.
Yeah.
How you meant to get the new if the old won't move?
Exactly, man.
So you might say, oh, I'm sorry about your dad, but what if that dad made way for my son?
Exactly.
What if that energy just... Because the universe is only so much. It can't just keep adding. It needs to go...
Yeah, and that's what, like, the soul is sometimes when these older people are just pumping drugs, the soul's going, stop, man, just get me the fuck out of here, I'm done. This is fucked. I don't want to be in this body, like, it doesn't work. I can't even fucking reach my arm up there, like, let's go.
My granddad was ready. He was ready, man. He had his slippers on. He was like, let's go.
When they come in for me, I'm ready, man. Like, but the thing, that's the other thing as well, like, what I teach about as well, it's like, do you really want to arrive at God? Like, you just want to arrive at God, because God would be like, yo, what the fuck? Calm down, man. Like, look. You're like, it's like, it's beautiful. It's like, what? Right, you're going back. You got some shit. So it's like, oh, come back when you're more ready. Yeah, reincarnate. Come back when you're more ready. And like, the people, like, Vipassana teachers that arrive, you want to die in peace. So when you arrive to God, God's like, hello. You got to die consciously,
innit? Like, that's why you keep dying consciously in this moment, so that when you jump out of that plane, you've got a parachute. Guys,
exactly, man.
That's why I'm quite interested in the psychedelics. And I, by the way, used to be against them. It was funny. Okay. I called them psychedelicals.
Right. Okay.
Otto Man from Simpsons. I don't know how it made. I'm clueless. Like anybody who doesn't really understand them. Yeah. And it was like, once you do them, you realise how this change of consciousness, wow, this is just how my interface has made it, because it's the best in this moment. I can't drive a car and see interdimensional beings, do you know what I mean? Yeah. But this ain't everything. Just because your interface says this is what there is, I mean, that's what there is.
Well, no, it's not at all. But science tells us that, because we only see 0.05% of visible light. So it's like, for them people to say this doesn't exist, you're like, what, from your 0.05% of visible light that you see?
Exactly.
You've got to admit to yourself, I know fucking nothing. I can see nothing. Like, teach me.
I have this.
Do you know what I mean?
I have this small sliver. I couldn't even tell you how small the sliver was. Yeah. So to then be like, and it is an egoic defense mechanism. If I know everything, I'm safe. But to know everything, one, boring. Oh, what, you know how the film are finished? Like, that's not exciting.
Exactly.
But then also, like, if you just accept that you don't know everything, feel that fear, that panic of, oh, I don't know everything, then it can shake out. When I did the Aya, it was very much, I was scared. I'd been spanked by the shrooms, and I take it very, not serious, but with reverence. And it was like, I felt her and it just rippled through me, and it was just belly laughter. Like, you were taking it that serious? Like, look how serious you've just been fucking taking all this. And it's like, whoa, and it rippled. It was literally like a ripple effect. And I think that's what laughter does. It just gets rid of all that, shakes it all up. 100%. So we're 11.
I'm still 11. Fucking hell, man. I want to grow up.
Now, you've already mentioned how sort of school was. What was it like when we're leaving school? Did you go to college? Did you go into something else?
I went to college, and then I got a job doing cavity wall insulation with my mate, a lad from football. I did that for like a year, and I was like, I'll go back to college. I think I did my A-levels and that. Did I finish my A-levels?
So you did A-levels then?
Did A-levels, went to college, and then I think I was then a window fitter for a couple of years.
Okay.
But then I was doing acting. I was doing a bit of acting.
Okay. How long was that in your head for?
I was just good at it at
school. You like it? You liked it then, yeah?
Yeah, and it was better than other stuff. It was like I got to fuck about. And then, so then I got an agent. I did a few things. Got a place at theatre school, and I was there for about a year, but I wasn't vibing. It was too much kind of musical theatre. And then, I think it was then I was a window fitter for a bit. Then I met a girl in Ayia Napa from Norway who was a princess, and then I went and moved to London because she was doing a law degree, and then I was acting and modelling in London, and then that's when I really become a drug dealer, because. So
you are obviously, the book's called Dealer to Healer, so was that always in the background then?
Well, I was always around drugs growing up. And then when I moved to London, I was like, how much did you pay for that? And I was like, fuck, we don't pay that in Manchester. Yeah. I'll go and get some. I'll give it you cheaper. And that's how it started.
It's business, bro.
It was just like, because, people were like, how did you start as an entrepreneur? I was like, well, I used to go to Macro with my mum, and they'd get stuff for the house, and I'd buy with me spends a box of iron brew bars, and then I'd go and sell them at school, and then I'd make money. Kid. So but it was like, you make £3, but when you're like 11, £3 a lot of money.
I mean, that's a tuck
Do you know
shop
what I mean?
sorted.
Exactly, mate. It was like, so I was just making money, and it was like iron brew bars, one bars. I was always selling stuff at school. Then my dad, when he lived in Spain, would bring cigarettes. Like, get us like a 200 cigarettes, because my dad was just like, okay, son. He didn't really care about stuff like. I was like, no, I'm not. I drive a Mondeo. I'm a salesperson. As my dad was like, my dad's a ducker and diver. Do you know what I mean? He's a bit of a rascal. He's a rascal. So yeah, he'd get me cigarettes, then I'd sell cigarettes like per cigarette. So you make shitloads.
20p a cig and that.
20p a cig, 50p a cig. And then selling weed, just always. And then I was selling clothes. I'd sell stolen clothes, stolen goods that, from people that I knew, or sales, and then sell bits of just always like ducking and diving. Then I was working as well. Always worked manual, started working with my dad, painting and decorating at 12, which was a great apprenticeship because it's a skill I've always got. And I never thought it was a skill. And then my brother was like, because my brother's a painting decorator as well, and he was like, not many people can do it as well as we can. And I was like, what do you mean? He was like, well, he said, people come and work for me who are painting decorators and they're not as good as you by far. I was like, what? I've not even really done it. And he was like, no, like,
you're just naturally all right.
Well, and because dad had taught us, do you know what I mean? He's like, do this, like, this is the technique you use for
so
that.
we knew what he was doing.
Yeah. My dad was a brilliant painter and decorator. My brother is as well. Brother still does it. And that was just something that I earned money from. When I was acting, it was like, okay, I never had a full-time job.
Did you think the acting was going to ever? Was it in your head like this is going to be something, or was it more? Like
well, especially like I got a lead role in a film, and it got we filmed it. I got paid really well for it. I was in 98% of the scenes. Like it was, I was the main character.
Star then,
I was the star of it. Yeah, and that premiered at Tribeca, Robert De Niro's festival in New York.
Okay.
So it was like, flew over there.
So it wasn't just a nothing little...
No, it was a British indie film. It's called Brilliant Love.
Okay. Can we find it?
Yeah.
I'm fucking watching that.
It's got a lot of sex in it. It's not a porn film, but it's got a lot of... It's just, do you know what I mean? It's a raw kind of portrayal of two young people falling in love, and all the things that you do when you're falling in love. My character is actually called Manchester, which was, as soon as I read the script, he's called Manchester.
Was that like his nickname because he's from Manchester?
Because he was from Manchester, but he's living somewhere else. And like the guy who wrote the film went on to, he's huge now. He's called Sean Conway, and he wrote all the, I can't remember. He's a lot of big stuff, a lot of films. Massive like Netflix series and stuff. But yeah, obviously then you go to, it was the wrong timing for me, and I'm glad actually, because I'm glad I never got sucked into that industry. But it was the wrong timing. Like I wasn't confident. I didn't know who I was. I was like, we'd go to parties and there'd be famous people. I'd get off my tits because I felt uncomfortable. And then that's not a good way to network. Do you know what I mean? It's like, where can we get MDMA? Where can we get let's get off our faces? And like a lot of the crew, like we'd rock up to do a Q&A. And the audience would be like, you guys made this film? We're like, yeah. They're like, what? That's a really good film.
You're all off your nut, though.
We're like, yeah, we made that film. So from that
That's
moment,
why I love doing this, by the way, because people get this idea of who you are from snippets. I had it in my head. How could I not? I've just seen you on Gary Neville or Dragon Den or whatever, or seen your socials. But this is what it's about.
Yeah, well, I don't think I've been asked that for ages or talked about it actually for a long time.
Well, that's why I love doing this, because you see your eyes even light up and you're like, oh, I remember when that happened.
But yeah, then so you're kind of thinking, oh, this is it, like I'm going to make it then. And then I didn't have any work for 9 months, so I've done this film in the lead role, because no one's seen it and you got no footage from it, it's not been released. You ain't in any different position than you was in before you shot it. And then I did another film, and I wasn't the lead role, but I was one of the main characters. And then that premiered at Tribeca the next year. So it was like 2 years in a row we premiered at Tribeca. The Brilliant Love. That was called Lotus Eaters. And that had Johnny Flynn in, who's quite a big musician and he's quite a famous actor now. And
I don't know his face.
You wouldn't know his face yet, but I can't think about. He's been in loads of stuff. And Amber Felicity Rose Anderson, who was in she's been in loads of stuff as well, but she was like 18, 19-year-old model when I was filming this Lotus Eater. She'd just become like the big catwalk model. And she was one of her first like acting jobs, and I was doing this, you know, on set with her, and then she's gone on to do like, she's in Peaky Blinders, so she was doing all the.
Which one is she?
Do you know the last series of Peaky Blinders where Tommy, what's the Hitler guy in it?
Yeah.
His missus.
The blonde one.
The blonde one, yeah. His missus in it.
Right, okay.
So that's
cool,
Amber Felicity Rose Anderson. I think she's she's obviously doing really well. I've not spoke to her for years and years.
Yeah.
But I had a little, you know,
when she's watching
a nice
this...
friendship with her. She's cool. She's a really nice girl. So yeah, and that went to Tribeca. That did loads of festivals. Like Brilliant Love did festivals all over the world. We got nominated for a British Independent Film Award.
So you're half decent.
The film got nominated, not me. Do you know?
You're the star.
I was all right. Like, and to be fair, like looking back, I realise now for what I'm doing, I was training for what I'm doing now, man. The way I can hold space, like you could put me in front of 10,000 people, mate, I'd smash it. I have no fear. Like the more people you put me in front of, the better I will be. And
give you energy then. You're a bit like me, where you got like a showman sort of part.
Yeah. It's like if I'm teaching yoga for like 4 people, I have to lift myself.
Yeah,
when there's like, when the room's 45 people and it's packed, I'm like, right guys, let's fucking have this. Come on. Like feed off that energy.
Yeah, I understand.
So it's like when people, people have said to me, it's going to be like 350 people at this cacao ceremony. What are you thinking? I'm like, fucking sit them down.
Yeah. Get enough cups.
I get to fucking upgrade 350 people rather than 20. Like, have a positive impact on. Like, to me, it's like,
I'll have to come
get as
down
many
to one of
people
them
in,
as
get as
well.
many people in as you can, because I'm gonna like there'll be a more chance of me affecting more people's lives in a positive way. You know what I mean? The way I talk about stuff, the way people, God, you know, something you said, like, oh, that one thing, it really made me think.
You don't realise,
bang.
but that ripple.
Yeah, man.
Oh, and then that ripple. Just
yeah.
from one word, just because you decided,
Exactly, man.
I'm going to hold space for myself
Yeah.
and then hold space for others.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
makes sense, because you can't do it for others if you're not doing it for yourself. So you're doing the films. Did you do any more, or was it just those 2?
I did those 2. I did a few other little parts. I did Coronation Street, a little part in Coronation Street. Yeah, I was going out with a girl off Coronation Street for a bit. I did a really cool film called, what's that called? Cash. That was a cool little short film that did really well. I think that's a really beautiful piece, actually.
I remember watching them all, mate.
With this new, he was a new director at the time called Tony Boffey, really talented guy on it. Loved working on that. Worked with a guy called Royston Mayer, who's he's probably in his 70s now. But I always bring my dad as an extra. Like when I'm filming something, I bring my dad as an extra, and I say to the crew, I said, if he's like being a dick, just ignore him. Like, or if he wanders off, just don't like worry about where he is. He'll be fine. So, so I've had like he's been all over with me. Like, come and be an extra on this, like, or be me standing. For, like, I had this character where my character was really old. Yeah. So I had like prosthetics and stuff. So my dad was me standing, like he'd sit in the place, before to get the shots right, and then he'd bring me in as this old man. And he's been an extra. He's been in all my music videos when I was in a band as well.
Oh, we're throwing that one in there. You in a band?
Yeah. And
playing music or singing?
Singing.
Okay,
I was like that. I wrote all the music, and I was the singer. But where was I going with that? Oh yeah, so my dad comes to this to be the extra in this thing, and it's this Royston Mayer, and this Royston Mayer's like fucking amazing actor. And my dad's chatting to him at lunch. My dad's with his missus, and he goes, "What's your name?" And he goes, "Royston." And my dad goes, "Royston Mayer." And he went, "Yeah, Royston Mayer." And my dad was like, "No, you're not." And he went, "I'm Royston Mayer." He went, with Tommy Steele or like some of these like famous people from like the 70s, 60s and 70s. And he was like, yeah, he went, "You were the producer?" And he was like, yeah. And he was like, "You are Royston Mayer?" He went, "There's not many people called Royston Mayer, is there? Why would I bring that name out?" And he was like, "Oh my God, it's a pleasure to meet you." So my dad's like starstruck. I've not got a funky clue. I was like, all right, cool. You just fit. And it was like that. So then I had all these conversations with this guy called Royston, and we become really good friends, actually. He's a brilliant human being, really amazing. Like, he was famous in the UK, created all these like cabaret shows. Like I think he works with like Les Dawson. A lot of these big guys in the 70s. I can't even remember what some of the comedians are, but a lot of like cabaret kind of like comedy shows on stuff on TV, and he was the producer of them, so he was quite famous. And then when that kind of fizzled out, he went and became a Bollywood director.
Oh yeah.
So he went to India with his missus, and they're quite spiritual as well. Then he come back over here and he started acting as like in his 60s, became an actor, powerful actor as well, really good actor. And yeah, it was just like a pleasure working with him and making those connections, and just seeing my dad face light up.
That's what I mean. Like, I could just imagine having my dad.
Yeah, it's like, okay, that's you. It's like you're in acting with my son. He's buzzing.
Are you still doing the dealing as well with this? Are you got like a little side, or is paying
no, I'm not. It's not paying me way, man.
Okay.
Like, not at all. I'm still
not Brad Pitt
dealing,
yet.
still fucking painting and decorating. No, I never got to that level, man. I never got to a level with acting where it supported me financially.
Okay.
Ever. No.
So, did it stop at some point then, I'm assuming?
It actually stopped. I moved back to Manchester. I was still teaching yoga. I'd done another couple of little films. And I was like, my agent was like, she went, you're an anomaly. She went, every job you go for is between you and one other. She went, it's not like you're not getting the jobs.
Right.
She went, but you're not getting the jobs.
You're getting to the final.
So she went, so you're good because they're having this dilemma about who to pick, but they're not picking you. And I was just like, and I thought, do you know what? Maybe it's not what I'm supposed to do. And I didn't, it felt like it wasn't aligning anymore. Okay. I didn't want to be at the auditions. It was like, every time you go for an audition, it's like going for a job interview. Yeah. It's like, and you're going for a job interview 3 or 4 times a week, and that's not good for your nervous system. Yeah. And I wasn't enjoying it, so I was like, and then as soon as I let that go, and as soon as I stepped into everything just like opened up, blossomed, started happening for me, and it was just another thing to let go.
Yeah.
To let go of.
One thing I'm mindful of, you said I'm teaching yoga, yet you hadn't mentioned that you'd started teaching yoga.
Yeah.
When did that come in?
Well, I got into when basically in London, I got arrested with a load of drugs on me. Got caught with a load of drugs on me. And that kind of made me... My mum had died a few years previously. I've been in loads of depression, fucking wasn't happy, like assessing my whole life. And then was that bad in the depression. I was like, what used to make me happy? It was like, when I was selling drugs and when I was going out and when I had loads of girls and bum. So I like bought a load of drugs again. And then I was just like, I don't want to go out anymore. To go out makes me feel more pain, and like the emotion comes out about my mum, and I struggle with it. It was like, so anyway, I ended up going in a pub getting caught with drugs. It was just a pub. I got searched. I was like, fucking getting searched. Like, I've been going in pubs. I've been flying around the world with drugs on me for donkey's years. I've never once been caught. And I'm going in a pub next to where I live. And some bouncer stopped. And it was like the universe just went, boom, stop me. And I could have run off. It was like, I just waited for the police. And then obviously when the police came, I made a drama out of it and tried to escape. And
shit then.
Fucking all these police, like...
Consequences.
I had to entertain the people in the pub, do you know what I mean? Or watching. And then that was kind of like... That was like the big wake-up call. I was like, fuck, man. Like, because since my mum died, it was where I was like trying to make my mum happy, because when she was alive, she couldn't see what I was up to. But when she was dead, even though I hadn't had a spiritual awakening at this point, I was like, what if there is a spirit and she can see me? I need to be better. I need to
How
be...
old when she passed?
I was 27.
Okay.
25, 27 I think I was.
No, so same age when my dad died, How did it hit you pretty hard by the sounds of it?
My mum was everything. My mum was my whole family in one.
Yeah.
Like, that was it. She was like my rock of everything. That's the only thing that mattered. And yeah, that just obviously spiraled, got caught with drugs, and then it was like, do you know what? I'm done. It was like, started, because I got caught with so many drugs, then they searched me flat and found like 1,000 pills. Right. It was like, fuck, I might go to prison for a little bit here. And I was quite good looking when I was younger, so I was like, I'm going to get fucking bummed to fucking prison, man.
I'm too pretty for this.
However, I wasn't happy with the world, and part of me wanted to go to prison. But then obviously the other part is like, you need to get a case so that you're not going to go to prison. And anyway, so I started going to these 12-step meetings. I had this meeting with a counsellor. They were putting me with counsellors. And this counsellor was like, you should start doing yoga or meditating. And I started going to this Buddhist place in London. Started meditating. It was really difficult.
I was going to say, how did you find it?
Fucking horrible, man. Yeah. Fucking horrible. The 12 steps, horrible. Getting down on your knees, praying to God, offering everything up to a higher source, saying, I am not doing a good job here, help me. And doing that every day, uncomfortable as fuck, like, just like God, saying the word God. So to me as well, the word God is like saying the word money to a spiritual person or someone from poverty. Money, let's talk about money. It's like God, let's talk about God. Do you know what I mean? They're the same thing, but they are the same thing, because God is abundance, God is money, God is love, God is prosperity, God is fertility. Do you know what I mean? It's like, so is money. If you use it the right way, if you use God the wrong way,
the energy behind
if you use God the wrong way, you're creating war, you're creating famine. Do you know what I mean? You're killing people for not believing in your God. So it's like, use God in a positive way, use money in a positive way. They're exactly the same thing. Where was I?
So you were basically saying that you were down on your knees saying, like, I'm going to have to give out my... Say, I'm basically not doing a very good job. Please help me.
So 12 steps, man. 12 steps, wonderful program. I wasn't an addict. However, when I started going to it, I saw the problems that I had with drinking alcohol in a way. It had, some sort of power over me.
Were you more of a binger or...
Binger, yeah. Like, I wasn't an addict. People used to come to my house to buy drugs. And they're like, how do you have all them drugs in your drawer and not take them? I'm like, wouldn't be a very good business, would it? Do you know what I mean?
And I didn't want to. And you're like, got that cacao, bro? Had it all.
I've just had 5,000 kilo today. But it was just, it was like, I was never like, I'd go out and get fucked, but I wouldn't like do drugs in my house. I was never really a drinker in the house, or like,
more social,
or I might have a beer in the evening occasionally, or I liked having a glass of wine when I was cooking. But yeah, it was just like, but I'd give up drinking quite a bit. My mum was teetotal growing up, and she always had a good time. It's like, how does she have a good time like without drink, man? And people would be like, your mum's pissed off her head when my mum doesn't drink. They're like, fuck off. When she's on Brit 55s, man, she drinks Brit 55s. That's all she drinks. So I'd never seen my mum drunk. And she always had a good time. She was always the life and soul of the party.
So you had that, like, it wasn't just a concept. It was like, no, I've seen people.
I've seen it,
I've not just heard of it, I've seen it.
And then I became that guy. So I was like, this is Liam, he doesn't drink. But then it's like, take me to a wedding, I'll dance. Do you know what I mean? But make sure the fucking music's good.
Did you feel, because you said you got, because obviously when you were with the famous people, you said I got so fucked, but was it like that in normal?
I think I'd got more confident because I was on my spiritual path then. I was more confident with who I was. I'd been to like 5 rhythms dances and stuff, which is weird as fuck.
I've never been to one. I'm an ecstatic DJ.
But you've been ecstatic dance though.
Yeah.
So it's a similar thing in a way. Like to dance sober. The first time you dance sober is like...
Yeah, I know.
You haven't danced sober since you was 11. That's what. Do you know what I mean?
I had a mate, because I was basically just trying to impress my girlfriend. That's how I got into all this. I was just trying to impress a girl. Do you know what I mean? I'm there.
I'm praying.
Hey, I'm like,
is she watching? Yeah, I'm looking good.
They're all share circling and like dancing and like, and I think I'm dancing. I'm like, I'm probably gun fingers and all. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah. And she's like, just loosen up. You're so still. I'm like, I am loose. And now I look back, I was properly like, I wouldn't allow myself to express. Yeah. What if they think I'm this? I wasn't even conscious about that, bro. But
I just had to close my eyes and go, just let the music move me.
That's how I always would say, start and just feel into it. Look, there's no one else even there, man. How does it make you? Because my DJ name is Moksha, which to liberate, to free, it's all this that's inside you. How does hate want to express? How does anger? Why are we just wanting to be happy and joyful? And like when I did the Bufo, it was this pure release of just, it basically went, remember the release? And it purged, and basically it was all this shit I just hadn't let myself feel, but the pure of it, like just pure anger, just pure rage, pure sickness, wasn't bad. That label of bad had gone. And then I was laughing, and then I probably look like a psycho. I'm on the floor going, But I was like, like a baby. You upset a baby cries, and then you make the baby laugh. The baby laughs. It's forgot it was crying, and it was so pure. It's the
Bufo's beautiful, man. It's probably my favourite thing that I've done.
You know when you've had an itch? And it's not that I'm saying anyone should do, but if you feel called, and it's legal.
When it's legal, guys.
When it's legal, of course.
Should be legal.
Don't get me down that road. Unless you want to.
No, it's like everything should be legal. Other than like, fucking rape, murder, all that shit. It's like anything that grows naturally. If you want to put it in your body and you're not upsetting anyone else,
you're a grown adult.
Do what you fucking want.
Is that your body?
Exactly.
Your consciousness?
Exactly. Yeah.
And you haven't gone out and murdered somebody?
You know them mushrooms? They're legal until you dry them and eat them. Okay, I'm a bad person.
Sounds about right.
And I've got a really good poem actually about drugs and about the Lancet report that was written in 2010. No, I've not got it verbatim.
Oh, right,
I can send it you. It's just all about the kind of like the fact that this guy called Professor Nutt. It was in the Lancet report, which is like these kind of like academic things, and the government had given millions of pounds to do this research and reclassify it. Where should drugs be based on what they do to your body, what they do to your mind, what they do for society, all these different categories. And alcohol's class A. He was like, based on everything,
it's
alcohol's
the worst.
class. Oh yeah, it's the worst, 100%.
30 minutes after having it, it's like, get the fuck out.
Yeah, so the only things that remained as class A were heroin and crack.
Okay.
Mushrooms were legalised. MDMA was like class C, still based on their structure. And cocaine was class B, I think, or something like that. And then the government were like, nah. No, we're not doing that. We're not making alcohol class A because it's a good way to control people. Yeah.
Well, have you noticed it's all the shit that keeps people numb, keeps people dumbed down, and the rest of it's like we don't want you asking questions. We don't want you growing and healing.
Want expanding your mind. That's another part of the poem. It's like we don't want you expanding your mind and seeing something deeper than what actually exists. What actually we want you to see. Like government. Do you know what that translation of government is?
I did, and it's just like
so ment is like mind, so it's control mind. So governments are here to control the mind of the populace. So it's what can we put in place to make sure they are behaving. We're making them think a way that makes them behave the way we want them to behave. Yeah, so it's like be the good sheep. Don't be the black sheep. I'm totally the black sheep in my family.
I am black sheep, happy and proud, mate. Yeah, man. Like, I mean, my girlfriend says I should come with a trigger warning. And it's not like I'm trying to be a dickhead.
Yeah.
I'm just being authentic and honest. And if you say da-da-da, I will tell you my opinion.
Yeah.
Which has got me in trouble. Fuck it.
Don't worry about it.
I've learned though, not everyone needs to hear everything you think. Like I used to need them to validate me. I think I had to tell everyone everything so that you think that too, right? Rather than this is just what I think. And when I started, like you said, doing the work and being so confident and comfortable with myself, well, I don't need to convince you.
Exactly.
If you go, I don't believe you, I go, all right.
Fair enough.
What is it like? I think Keanu Reeves said like something like, if you say 1 and 1 is 3, have fun with that.
Exactly.
Good luck with that.
All the best.
So
sorry,
go.
Before you go into that, is an Oscar Wilde quote. It is ridicule is a tribute paid by the mediocrity to the genius. It's a good one.
I'm taking that.
So it's like if you're getting ridiculed, it's like fuck yeah.
Do something right then.
Yeah, exactly.
So you've been doing the yoga. You've had your little moment, your epiphany moment, where it's like, am I going to keep doing this? Where do we go from there then?
So so from that like 12 steps, going on a journey, having a spiritual awakening, moving back to Manchester, getting found guilty, thinking I was going to prison. Ended up getting 150 hours community service. I'd got rid of my flat. I'd given my dad my keys and my wallet because I got found guilty.
Yeah.
So I'm like, my brief was like, you're gonna go prison minimum a year. Like your sentencing will be a minimum of a year. But I wanted to write a book, so I was like, oh, go prison. I can write my book. Hopefully not get bummed too much. Not that I'm not against bumming. I'm not into it for me.
Yeah.
You can do what you want. Do what you want with your body and with your penis,
your personal
whatever you want.
Anal
but
rape isn't something you choose.
wasn't my thing, you know. So got the 150 hours community survey. It was quite interesting because the film Lotus Eaters was premiering at the London Film Festival the same day, the evening that I was getting sentenced.
No way.
So I was like, I'm either going to a like glitzy premiere of a film that I'm in and getting interviewed by the press, feeling totally uncomfortable, totally feeling like a fraud, don't know who I am, I want to kill myself, or I'm going to be making an acquaintance with my new cellmate. Like, and it was 90% favourable that I'd be going to prison. Anyway, I got 150 hours community service. Someone didn't want me to go to prison. And then moved back to Manchester to do my community service because I was done with London. London's an energy vampire and I just couldn't be there anymore. It was like, it felt part of another thing that I needed to shed, let go of. Moved back to Manchester. I went on this, did the 12 steps and got to I'm about 31, 32. 10 years ago.
So Michael's the name, meditation is the game, and Meditation with Michael has now launched its very own website. Everything I'm doing is going to be on there. From meditation classes, which you can join in person, catch up if you missed one, or just join online from the comfort of your own home. One-to-one sessions. We've got loads of freebies like the chakra meditations, and we've also got a new 10-day beginners course. So if you really want to build that strong foundation, I've suffered with anxiety, depression, suicidal tendencies. I've lost family members. I've been an addict, unhealthy relationships coming out my ears. Meditation was the panacea. Learning how to sit with any sensation that arises really just helps you to master that patience, and those who master patience, well, they master everything else. So I want to pass that on. It is my purpose to alleviate my own suffering, show others how to do the same, and we can all live more peacefully. It sounds all right, that, doesn't it? So this website is a lovely little hub for you to find everything I'm doing, from the ecstatic dances to the floating meditation journeys. I'll put a link in the description. Go check out meditationwithmichael.co.uk and awaken the power within. Peace and love, guys.
Yeah, 10 years ago. And sort of went on this, I was determined to not have a spiritual awakening, because I think it's step 10 or 11 is like to have a spiritual awakening and to carry on this work and to pass it on to other people. I was like, fuck that, not having a spiritual awakening.
Is it still a G word to you?
Not going to wear, hey?
Is it still like a bit of a G word? I'm like,
God. I was comfortable with God. I just was like, I want my whole life back, sort of thing. But then I just didn't know what I wanted. But I was like, I'm not going to have spiritual awakening and go to all these meetings all the time and this become my life. I wasn't feeling it. I enjoyed the spaces to an extent, but I didn't want it to be my life.
Yeah.
I wasn't like feeling like this is where I'm going. I thought I'd end up building earthships like all over the world, like off-grid sustainable buildings or whatever. And then I moved back to Manchester, and I kind of like had my step 11 and 12 with my friend in Manchester without me really knowing it. I had this spiritual awakening, started going to healing things, started going to workshops, meditations.
Just the people
in Manchester, we started doing cards in her room. She was seeing angels and demons. She'd come out of a relationship.
So these like tarot cards or oracle cards?
Books.
That sort of stuff,
I was reading The Prophet. I was reading Celestine Prophecies. I was reading like Eckhart Tolle.
Power Now,
Power and Now. And this little one, I think it's something Stillness. That was my favourite one. Power and Now I'm not really too connected with. Eckhart Tolle.
Tolle's good, but it's not the most digestible.
But he's dry, man.
That's what I'm saying.
Wears a fucking tank top, man. I don't want to get taught off somebody who wears a tank top. It's like, get some fly gear, Eckhart. Get a makeover.
Poor Eckhart.
Love you really, Eckhart, but just like, man, you dress like me fucking granddad. I'd rather you be in like a full like a full white outfit or something.
You want the whole get up.
Not necessarily. I just don't like tank tops.
You weren't resonating.
And he just looks like he should be in the Conservative Party. Do you know what I mean? He's got a boring voice.
I've got a thing where
these books are great.
I write notes on the books that I'm reading, unless it's a Stephen King or something. I write notes. And this is, to me, like, this is a learning process. And I am not someone who learns a book in one read.
Totally.
Plus, I can go to my notes section and I can just, what was that bit about Atomic Habits or whatever, reality bubble. So
Atomic Habits, good.
It's a sick one, mate. And basically, with him, my girlfriend was reading it.
Right.
And I was an arrogant dickhead, mate. I would scoff at this shit. Like, if I saw myself, in fact, like in 10, I'd be like, fucking this guy out teaching meditation, you're a madman. But it was like, because we're on holiday and we're lying in the sun, read me a few bits. And he said, like, when you're thinking about the past or the future, you're doing it now. And I don't know why. That was like, fuck. It's always
now.
But anyway, sorry, Eckhart, that wasn't...
No, I love you. I think you've done amazing things, Eckhart.
We've had the Liam shaming.
Just change your tank tops. I'll style you.
That's it. That's what he really wanted. That was the little plant that you were putting. So you said that you were you just got to a mate and you were going through steps. Was it 10 and 11, you said?
Yeah, so it was it wasn't until a few years later that I realized I'd achieved step 11 and 12, like, because when I started teaching yoga and then I'm passing on my knowledge and like people are asking me about stuff, I've been to go. So basically we are on this spiritual journey. We start going to meditations. We start going to like little healing shares. We didn't think anyone else was spiritual in Manchester at this point. This is like 2014. So it's kind of still super underground at that point. And then we're like, oh, right, this stuff exists. It was like when I started doing the 12 steps, you like realize every town all over the country, there's a step meeting once a week at least.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And you're like, oh, this is underground. Like this, it's always happening. So we'd gone to this woman had said, you should come to this advanced spiritual meditation. She's took us in. She's like, you guys are going to do big things going forward. I'm like, what? Like, it's full of shit. Like, just thinking it's bullshit. Honestly, you guys are going to be doing big things. Like, you're going to be on a fast track to spiritual awakening, to being teachers. And I was like,
all right.
Just don't want to kill myself. You just made me happy. So my friend Catherine, she was buzzing. She was like, yeah, and she was like, she's now like a famous psychic medium.
Oh, so
she was like 8 years ago, and I'm like, where the fuck am I doing? Do you know what I mean? I was still cycling around Manchester teaching yoga for 25 quid, making about 75 quid a day, and just going like, and people were like, oh, that was so good. And you're like, can you give me a tip?
buy us a burger.
You know what I mean? You all like your taxi driver doesn't give you that much wisdom and like an amazing hour, and you give him a tip. No one's tipping.
Guy brings your meal over, and you're like, it's 10%, mate.
Like, yoga teachers like changed my philosophy and mind, and allowed consciousness to raise within me, but they ain't getting a tip.
I've got a donate button, and I don't think it's ever once been pressed.
Fuck it, yo guys, if you're listening to this, donate to this guy. And actually, if you donate, if you realise the laws of the universe, every time you tip or you give money away, it comes back to you tenfold.
I've noticed that. That's a big thing, I was very selfish, only child, really pampered. Do you know what I mean? I was
mine.
I was that, and it was like when I just started a little bit, I felt so good. Yeah. And I wasn't doing it so they liked me. I was just doing it because I genuinely wanted to help them. And then I started thinking, look, there's so many charlatans. There's so many people trying to blag people. And no matter what anyone thinks about you, you know your intentions. Yeah. And you know you're going to keep going into your shit. My purpose is to alleviate my own suffering so I can show others how to do it. We just live more peacefully.
Exactly.
That doesn't mean more happily. It means at peace with where we're at. Yeah. And usually that means we're all going to have a better time, harmonious.
100%.
But then you got to do it.
Yeah, totally. But again, the 12 steps was the first time where I was looking at my behaviours, so I stopped stealing. So I was always a thief. Not like I wouldn't steal from you, or I wouldn't steal from a person. Shops, always. I was always stealing from shops. I was a thief. But I justified it by these are big corporations. They do bad things in Africa. It's bullshit, man. I was creating bad karmas for myself. But anyway, I stopped stealing because of the 12 steps. I started taking flowers round to my mates for the missus. When I went round to the house, I started being more generous, and then experimenting with it. And then as I've gone on my journey, as I've gone on my journey and then really kind of looked into abundance as well, anybody who's a millionaire, a billionaire, they give money away a lot. They tip well. They always leave good vibrations behind them, because one of the biggest things I teach is the most selfish thing you can do is give. Because if you give, you are getting back tenfold.
Selfishness.
That's selfish, man, because it's good. You're creating really good karma.
It's coming back.
But it's coming back. So it's actually selfish. You're like, yo, if I give them 100 quid, I'm going to get $1,000 back, man. Yes, mate. They're buzzing. You're buzzing.
I have noticed the energy behind it. You can go in with that manipulation energy. Yeah. And I have noticed that seems to have some... When I have had it in the past where I've done that, there's some sort of perversion comes out of it. Whereas when I've gone in I just genuinely want to help you. Yeah. Because why the fuck not? Yeah. I've noticed it's just so much purer. I have like I said, I just released my website. By the way, new website's out now. I have a community links page that I was telling you that I'd love to add you on. And people are like, why? What? I'm like, because I want to share what you're doing. It's they can't believe that someone just wants to help.
Exactly.
Because we're in a society that's I'll do that if you do this. I'll do that if you do that. It's so exchange.
But with that giving, I'm not asking anything back from that person. It's the universe who's going to box me off with the 10 times.
Exactly.
It's not, so it's nothing from that. It's like, that's a tip. I'm never going to see, I might never see you again. Like I just dropped a tip last night in a restaurant and it was twice the price of what I paid my meal. And they were like, I was like, no, happy.
And it wasn't so that guy, when you see him next, will be like, Liam. It was look, I like, know it's coming back.
Always. It's like, and it's hard. Like when I read the 5 a.m. Club or one of them books by Robin Sharma, and it was like, if you want to get rich, have 2 massages a week. I was like, I can't afford to have 2 massages a week. It was like, if you want to get rich, have 2 massages a week. I was like, fuck, I've got to have 2 massages. Got to have 2 massages a week. So I nearly have 2 massages a week. I have at least one.
Well, you said you just had one, haven't you?
I've just had one. And I'm having another treatment at 6 o'clock tonight. I've got a yoga Thai massage. So I would have had 3 this week,
no
actually.
You can't make our
But it's just those paradigms of like switching out of your old mentality of, well, how am I going to get rich if I spend more money on that?
Yeah.
It's like when I was totally broke, it was like somebody said, you need to have a life coaching. And I was like, but I ain't got any money. And he was like, I was like, okay, I'll round my mate up. Can I work? He's like, yeah, I've got a day's work tomorrow. I was like, sweet. Paid for my life coaching. Do you know what I mean? And then every week it was like, okay, bang, bang, bang. And that life coaching, I still used a mantra that I created during that life coaching. That life coaching was part of my, because do you want to know my little abundance story?
I want to know everything, mate.
So basically, I had a breakup. It messed with me head a bit. I went to Australia. I'm done with Manchester. I'm going to live in Australia. I stayed with a few friends, earned a bit of money over there, and then it was like, actually, I need to come back. And like, I made this decision that I need to get this book published that I'd written years ago, and it'd been sat on my laptop for like 4 years, 5 years.
This is the Dealer to Healer then. So they'd already been written.
Already written, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I finished writing that in like 2015, 15. And it was like, right, you need to publish this book. So I'm hitting publishers up. They want this kind of rights. You get 8%. I'm like, fucking 8%. I'm going to get 8% for my book. I was like,
shit. I thought they were saying they'll take 8%.
No, you're getting 8%. That's how it works, mate.
Fucking hell.
And since I did Dragons, then I've had a couple of approaches and book offers.
Yeah.
8 to 12%. I'm like, I'm getting. I'm like, no.
That thing that doesn't exist without me.
No. I'll self-publish that. Anyway, but I didn't know about self-publishing. Okay. And to me, it was like, fuck self-publishing. It'd be hard. It'd be this. But I was at my friend's in France. I was just kind of not really knowing what I was supposed to be doing. But God was sending me this message as well. It was like, yo, publish this book and things are going to get sorted in your life. Things are going to start making sense. And
so was that just like an intuitive knowing? That
just like, it was like, there's a few things where God, like, I feel like God's, like, what's going in my head is God. It's not me. So God said to me once, spend all your 30 grand that you saved from selling drugs, spend it all and you'll get a house. And I was like, that don't make any sense, man.
And this come out of nowhere?
Comes out of nowhere. So this is in my head. Like, so I spend a year, I make an album, put all the money into that, make music videos, spend all this 30 grand, but don't work for a year. Yeah, write my book, finish writing my book, boom. Come back to Manchester, get given a council house. I've been on the list, I'd forgot that I was on the list.
Okay.
Get a council house, lived there. And then this next thing was like...
you'd forgot you were even on the list.
Yeah. And so this next thing was publish your book and your life will start to fall into place. So I was like, fuck. So I was in France and I was like, right, fuck it. I'm going to self-publish it. So I just Googled how to self-publish a book. First one, 47 steps to how to self-publish a book. It's like, fucking hell, why didn't I do this 4 years ago? So I just followed the steps. Like,
you're used to following steps now.
Focused 100% for about 4 months. I was like getting up at 6 a.m, connecting with this proofreader in India. A woman in Australia was like editing my book a little bit, supporting me. I had a book cover, like an artist sorting it out in Argentina. These people that I'd met on this website called Upwork, and I was like, they've got to get the book done. I want it out. I want it off me.
Okay.
I need it off me. I need it published, and then just let it do its own fucking thing, man. Like, it's got to be done now. Got to get it off my laptop.
Almost like a purge.
Got to get it out. Yeah. It's like, because there's all these things when you write a book as well. I got a D in English. I'm dyslexic. I can't fucking spell. Like, if I would have had to write a book 20 years ago, it would have been impossible because they didn't have Microsoft spell check. Do you know what I mean? I would have been fucked, mate.
Just so you know, I'm actually writing a book, so I know exactly how you're feeling. AI, ChatGPT, not to write it for you, but to just grammar check and that. Lifesaver.
Right, see,
you didn't have that,
I just had spell check, and then it was funny because one of my mates, I was like, just read this chapter, bro. Read it. Tell me what you think of this chapter. And he was like, it's fucking good that. He went, but why did you go and see a physic? I was like, what do you mean? He went, well, you talk about this physic all the way through this chapter. I was like, what do you mean a physic? I was like, it says psychic, you dickhead. He went, no, that's physic, mate. I was like, it's supposed to say psychic, but thank you.
I love that.
It's like, why have you got to see a mathematician to sort your life out? But then that leads nicely into the fact that I went to see this psychic, and this psychic was like, you need to book on the thing that you've been putting off. Your grandma's saying book it. So it was this earth shipbuilding course that I'd wanted to do in America, which is these sustainable off-grid buildings. Like, go and do that course. And then just everything fell into place. People that was meeting, synchronicities. You know, when you first start on your spiritual journey, you're like, synchronicities, you're like, Carl Jung, you're like, what the fuck is going on, man? Freaky.
Nowadays, I see it and I'm like, hey. It's almost like a friend's gone, hey. But at the time, you're like, am I going a bit fucking nuts? Am I just putting one-on-one and making...
Your logical 3D mind is going, no.
I use the logic mind as my defense mechanism to feeling how I felt. So I was up there so much, bro.
But it's good, man, because I think like coming from that skeptical viewpoint, and then it convinces you. You're like, fuck, I can't ignore that now. That is real.
Belief,
but if you go into it like, oh yeah, I believe all this, you're great. It's like, no, I was skeptical. I was like, this is bullshit. Yeah. Bang. Okay, no, it's not bullshit.
Yeah, fair enough.
I believe. Yeah, okay, that was a big enough sign. Thank you.
You want another one?
I'm all right. So yeah, that it was, just going on that journey, publishing the book. So the abundance story. I'm not even fucking got to that yet. So the abundance story is I published the book, done with it. Like, have a little launch, do a book signing, like just let it do its thing, and then I'm like, right, I'm gonna move to Barcelona and teach yoga in Barcelona, boom. Went to Barcelona, stayed with my mate, was working a little bit, and then the work dried up, and I was 36, 37, so maybe like, it's 2019, so 5 years ago, end of 2019, and I'd run out of money, so I spent all the money that I earned in Australia writing the book. I pumped everything, all my energy into that, gone to Barcelona, this work fell through, I had no money, not even savings at this point, it all gone. So I was like eating at this Sikh temple in the day when my mate was out because I didn't have any money, and I'm like, I'm 37, man. I'm eating at a Sikh temple. What the fuck is wrong with you, man? You're teaching yoga, people like hang off your every word. I'm doing cacao ceremonies, people are like, that was amazing. When you can't even fucking feed yourself, what the fuck is wrong with you? So I was like, right, 2020 New Year's resolution, let's get fucking abundant. What do I need to do? So I messaged loads of my friends, yo, what book do I need to read? Because, when I got spiritual, it was like, read this book.
Yeah.
When I got yogic, like, read this book. And actually, a lot of it, I don't need to read much because it's just unlocking what's already within me. I know everything. You know everything. So it's remembering. It's unleashing it. You get more remembering through just meditating than you do from reading. So it was like, Sikh temple, got no money. Right, let's go on this abundance journey. 2020 started my abundance journey. 1 year later, I'm doing I've committed to no 3D work. Not 3D work, because it's all spiritual work. It all led me to where I was, but no tree surgery, no painting and decorating, no acting, no going to work for money manually. I was like, signed it off because we'd started our retreat business. It was going all right. Obviously, when you do make that commitment in 2021, the universe fucks you over for 3 months just to make sure you really want it and don't give you anything. So you're like on your ass for 3 months going, what the fuck? Why did I do? Maybe I've made a mistake. Oh, I should go to work. Ring my mate. No, don't ring your mate. You've got to commit to this. Otherwise, you're going to fuck it. And then after the 3 months, everything started to drop in. People were coming to my cacao ceremonies. People were asking me to teach them how to hold cacao ceremonies. Started my cacao brand, was importing cacao from all over the world. And then some people go, why would you learn from that guy? He's a dickhead. I went, I'm not learning. I'm not trying to be a dickhead like him. I'm not learning his bad traits, but he's got some good things about finance.
Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater.
Yeah, he's got like, he's a genius at finance. I don't need to like him. I need to just learn what he's done and how he does it, and then do it my way. I'm not going to become a dickhead or
listen
like,
to the teachings, not the teacher.
Exactly, man. Exactly. Because sometimes when you get close to your teacher, you can realise your teacher's a bit of a dickhead.
A human.
Yeah, a human. Yeah, exactly.
Like, so I get people who go, even you, and I'm like, fuck off. Yeah, I even said it. I went, even me, and then I looked back at the clip. You mean even you knobhead? Exactly. We're just as culpable all the time. Exactly, just human beings.
And it's when you catch people, some people can catch me and I'm like tired and I don't want to fucking, I'm like,
you don't know what
just leave me alone, man,
Yeah.
today, like, you know what I mean? I'm like,
and then they go tell everyone, oh, you're Liam Browne's a dickhead.
He was a bit of a dickhead, yeah. It's like,
from that one encounter when he was having an off day.
I could give zero fucks, to be honest. Like,
at least you're at that point.
I've kind of been like that for quite a while. It's like, if you come to my ceremony and you don't like it, you don't like the way I swear, I'm not your teacher then.
Yeah. But it's not like and fuck you. It's just, that's not for you then. No worries, mate. You don't want a brew? No worries. Okay.
And I ain't going to be able to tell if you're there. There's 250 people there. Someone told me that I shouldn't swear in my ceremonies once. I was like, how many people do you get at your events? And they were like, what do you mean? I went, well, how many people do you get? I was like, they were like, well, no, 15, 20. I was like, do you know the event you were at where you thought I was swearing too much? There was 70 people there. Yeah, I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. It's going all right. Do you know what I mean?
That was the game changer when I decided, be authentic. Because there's that fear, isn't there? There's that fear, why the fuck's anyone going to want that? Like, that does, but it's like nobody else is doing you.
Exactly.
Only you can do you. So stop trying to be him who does him better than you because it's him. And just be you. And I swear, I have got that colloquial sort of cheeky mank lad. Then that's what I've got. And if that only attracts 10 people, then it attracts 10 people who needed me.
Exactly, man. And if you're posh, be posh.
Be posh.
What's wrong with that? Yeah. Like, amazing. Like, be who you are. Yeah. Be like what we teach in the cacao facilitator training is like, what's your USP? Because I ain't teaching you to do a Liam Browne cacao ceremony. I'm giving you a framework to do your cacao ceremony, to be who you're supposed to be. Because I'd go to yoga teachers sometimes in Manchester. I'm like, all right, it's American. And then you speak to them afterwards. You're like, you're fucking from, you're English. Why was you speaking like that?
Where did that come from?
It's like, fucking hell, man. Like a teacher said to me when I first started teaching, and I went and did this like practice class, and I was getting assessed, and he was like, I think you might have to like change your accent slightly because I don't think people will be able to understand you. So internally, I've just got my middle fingers up going, fuck you, you're not my teacher anymore. You're not my teacher anymore. Like, that they're going to have to get a fucking interpreter if they can't understand me, because I'm good and I'm going to be me and I'm going to be authentically me, and that's the best that I can be. And I ain't going to change my voice for fucking no one. Do you know what I mean? It's like, and actually, I put my voice on more when I'm in posher places, and I swear more when I'm in posher places because I know it's triggering people.
Yeah. Because
then, actually, when they see me go into my higher self, they're like, oh, this guy's like authentic, this guy's the shit. And then they go, but I didn't like him before. So and then I'm challenging their concepts, because actually there's wisdom in the most ridiculous places sometimes. Do you know what I mean? From the places you wouldn't expect it. From the person that you thought's a dickhead your whole life could say one thing and you're like, oh fuck. Bah, 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 thank you. Do you know what I mean?
That's why one of the main things I love to chat. We're not struggling to have a conversation, but I was just there was no listening. There was no, what about you? Tell me about you, because I know what I fucking know.
Yeah,
don't know what you. Tell me about you. Tell me about you, and make them feel comfortable that they can share who they are. That's your job.
Yeah.
Just let them feel like they can be them, and it's safe to be them. And why the fuck not swear? Why not put your mank accent even more on?
Yeah.
You mentioned the cacao, but you haven't mentioned when that came in. Cacao. So you're a cacao boy. Everyone knows that.
Cacao boy, mate.
Yeah. Cacao man.
King.
King cacao.
I'm the kingpin in the cacao underworld. No.
But when did it come about, though?
2012, when I went to Guatemala for the end of the Mayan calendar. I was on this spiritual pilgrimage, and that was like my moment of like, give myself 3 years to either find a purpose or kill myself.
Okay.
I was like, fucking, I'm not feeling like this for the rest of my life. Like, I was going to group counselling sessions with people who'd been like feeling the way I felt for 36 years. I was like, I'm done in 3. If I still feel like this in 3 years, bye. Because this is not nice. Felt fucking horrible within. Everything was just like, I just was sad every day. Do you know what I mean? I just was not. And I was like, right, we're going to do this. So I went to Guatemala and I was just willing to try anything. And I was on this pilgrimage, again, with loads of healers, psychics, spiritual people. And this is in 2012. So again, it was, you know, a long time ago now. If you imagine the surge in the people awakening since then has been incredible, because that was the cosmic moment. 2012 was prophecies, end of the Mayan calendar, age of Aquarius, masculine to the feminine. Everything was pinpointed by all the ancient prophecies. 21/12/12. Yeah. So it was like, when I woke up to that, I was like, fuck man, I've been like messing about for years, and I've just woke up to this a year before, and like now I'm going to Guatemala, and then my account's like, whoa, what the fuck. And anyway, the cacao, I'm in this place called San Marcos in Lake Atilan in Guatemala, and someone goes, oh, you should go to the cacao shaman. I was like, mate, I'm here to do ayahuasca.
Had you heard of cacao though?
No, I don't think I'd even heard of it. And I was like, but he said, oh no, you sit on the porch with this guy, you drink a chocolate, like a cacao. I was like, what the fuck's cacao, man? It's like, it's just like chocolate. I was like, all right. But I was willing to try anything. So I was like, I'll just go, man, see what it's like. And then rocked up, a load of people turn up, drink 50 gram dose of cacao.
50 gram.
And this is the cacao shaman. So he's the guy that brought it all back. He's the person. Do you know what I mean? The whole cacao thing that's going on is because of Keith. Like, he's the cacao guru.
So what's their name, full name?
Keith. He's called Keith, the cacao shaman. Keith. Just American Keith, the cacao shaman.
That's what's like. I wasn't expecting Keith.
That's what he did. I get everyone in my ceremonies to say, "Oh, I Keith." Oh, I Keith. And I'm like, why are you doing it? The accent is American. It's American. All right, like the cacao shaman, Keith.
I think we need more people like you, man. The fact that you're bringing that sort of humour and the fun to it, like, that's where you'll get more people.
Yeah, man,
not this.
People love it. It's like, let's have a laugh, man. Yeah, it's like, that's what. And one of the things that Keith's got a total different sense of humour than me, but he was like, no, when you're meditating, you can smile. I was like, well, can I? Why? It's like, I'm meditating. He's like, don't have to be serious, just smile.
This is
you
sacred.
Can smile while you meditate.
Sacred.
It'll feel better. I was like, oh, fuck, it does feel a bit better, actually, to smile. But then, just to observe him, to observe his journey, how he connected with cacao, how the spirit of cacao had come to him and gave him this mission. And then he was like, you know, he was in the 60s and 70s with all the kind of hippie movement. And he was like, we were like the first wave of expanding consciousness, of like awakening. And he went, a lot of people, they just got so suppressed in that awakening that they just went back to a normal job. Okay, I've got to conform. Okay, I've got to conform. He went, but a few of us kind of carried on, and we were the first wave. He went, you guys here, you're the second wave. And he went, you guys are going to be amazing. The things you're going to do in the world's going to be incredible. He went, but when the third wave comes, oh my God. He said, the people that you're going to teach are going to like 100x what you're doing. He was like, and you're just going to enjoy watching it so much.
I actually got goosebumps.
Yeah. So like Keith being the linchpin of it. And then people think now that moment was where I know what I'm doing. I found my purpose.
Was you like,
no, not at all, man. I just learned about cacao. I was like, fuck, how did I not know that all chocolate that I've eaten my whole life comes from a tree? I never knew. I was like, why the fuck has no one ever told me that? Like, I just thought it'd come from a packet.
Came with the dairy milk wrapper on it.
Yeah, 100%. Like, fucking love Cadbury's caramel dairy milk, man. The fucking used to love that shit. And
I'm not gonna lie though, I can't touch it now.
I know, I can't. I can't.
You give me a Cadbury's hot chocolate, and I'm like,
I can't. I'm vegan, but I can't touch anything like that.
But you know what I mean, like the taste. Like, let's get rid of all the moral and blah 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 blah. Just the taste is so sweet and processed. It's like,
so I'm like that with aftershave. You know, if you go aftershave,
I don't touch it.
No, I can't. I'm like,
danging, mate.
I'm like, if that guy sprays me when I'm walking through these things, I might bang him out. Like, I'm that upset. Like, it's that upset. I'm like,
do you know what I do? I go to Florida.
I go to Florida. Oh, I've got this love spray. She's called Super Nature. This really amazing brand called Super Nature. She's got this love spray. And I'm like, I fucking love it. It's just all natural. But yeah, my brother comes and hugs me and he's got aftershave on. He lived with me and I'm stuck. I'm like, oh. I had to go and have a shower. And then he lived with me. I was like, bro, you can't hug me before you're going out again. I went, hug me before you go and have a shower. I went, you can't. He was like, what do you mean? I went, you can't. Too much. I'm gonna vomit. I had to cleanse myself and I had to have a shower. When you hugged me the other day before you was going out, he's like, what the fuck do you mean? And then he's like, you're burning all this hippie shit, and like he was like, it's disgusting. I was like, wow,
it's funny, man,
the
isn't it?
vibration
It's
is
funny,
like,
yeah.
So
it's like if I ever have an odd drink, I'm always about mastery, not abstinence, unless you need the abstinence.
Some people need it.
Some people need it, and I've needed it to
because
create
people
space.
think people think I'm completely teetotal. I'm sober, but I have a drink now and again.
Yeah, I choose to though, and I don't go nuts.
Yeah,
and I forgot what my point was, but it was. Yeah, do you know what? You just carry on. It happens.
Yeah.
So go on. You've had your cacao. You've been mind blown, but you've not been inspired to do the cacao yet.
Yeah, but it just becomes part of what I'm doing. I'm like, always got cacao.
Right.
I'm like, oh, have you tried cacao? Like, I come back home, I'm buying a bit off Keith. It's not like it's my
ceremonial
thing.
grade.
Yeah, ceremonial grade. Like, yeah. Everything was always ceremonial grade.
It's not cacao from Tesco then.
No. Well, I don't think Tesco had even heard of it by then. Yeah. But yeah, it was just kind of like, then going on my journey of like starting to become a yoga teacher, writing my book, being in a band, singing, learning the instrument of my voice, which was terrible. It wasn't an instrument that I could play, and then I went and learned how to play it. And like, I'm not saying I'm an amazing singer, but I got pretty fucking good at singing when I was in the band because I was singing every day. But I'd had to learn, and I'd had to use techniques to make me better, because when the first time I went and recorded, my voice was fucking shocking, bro, so bad. And then my mate was like, if we're gonna make an album, you're gonna have to have some singing lessons. I was like, what do you mean? He was like, you're gonna have to. He's like, I had to have guitar lessons to play like this. And I was like, okay, because you don't think it's an instrument, but it's an instrument.
Oh, it's one of the most powerful ones you'll get.
So then went and did that. It was like I was just gathering skills. And then eventually, and I was doing little cacao ceremonies here and there. And then when I was a yoga teacher, I was teaching chocolate yoga. I was incorporating yogic heart opening practices into a little cacao ceremony. Yeah. And then 2020 came, and I was like, I was teaching yoga on the park. No one was coming to my yoga on the park because everybody was locked down. And I was like, I'm still teaching, guys. Come. Fucking one person, two people. Like, and then it started building a little bit, and I was teaching like underground in spaces where we were like, for mental health. Coming together, 12 people, it's allowed. You can't get COVID if it's for mental health. And there's 12 people, only 12 people coming together. It stops at the door if there's 12 of you. It's a hack into universal consciousness
11.
of COVID.
Oh, no, 12.
Yeah.
COVID, you'll have to wait.
Stay a meter away. The can't is a force field. If you step into that meter, it will get you. It's like,
when you look back now, because obviously everyone's shitting it, so just like, yeah, right, you tell me what to do. But some people aren't. Some people are going,
well, I knew it was bullshit because I'd been following David Icke for 10 years, so I knew it was coming, I knew it was bullshit. Looked at the politicians on the TV. Oh, you probably can't use this bit, but fuck it, we'll talk about it, you can cut it out. But I knew, I'd interviewed politicians when I was into the environment, I was working for charities and stuff, and I could see the brainwashing and how their minds worked and how they were robotic. And it almost reminded me of the John Carpenter film They Live, where a lot of the people, when you put these glasses on, you can see that they're robots or they're like aliens within these physical human bodies. And I could see that within a lot of the politicians, and like how their minds worked, and they were brainwashed, and they only had a thought process of how they could like communicate. And I was like, oh, that's all a lie. Someone went, what do you mean? I went, that he was lying. He went, them 3 words that he said are going to stay in the consciousness of the humanity for quite a long time now, and that's what's going to control people. And it was just interesting to just see it all unfold. But I started a retreat business during the lockdown. Like, I put on retreats and we sold them out. And then I kept doing things. And I was putting on cacao ceremonies in my garden, sold them out, sold out, was putting 2 on a month, sold out. Thought, fuck it, I don't have to take my tent down in my garden. I'll keep it up Saturday, Sunday, do a ceremony Saturday, a ceremony Sunday, sold out. Can you teach me how to do cacao ceremony? What do you mean I don't know what I'm doing? Rang my mate up who does courses. Greg, can you, like, someone's saying I need to teach him, but I don't know what the fuck to teach him. And he was like, you do courses, can you come and see if there's anything in this? And he come and watch. He went, oh my God. He went, there's so much to it that you do, but you're unconsciously competent. He went, let's make you consciously competent. I like that. So he pulled all this out of me, and we had all these meetings, and it was such a blessing because he pulled out every aspect of the cacao ceremony that I did. But because I'd learned it over a long time, it's almost like watching a baby grow. You don't see it. if you're with it every day. Whereas I hadn't seen my growth because I'd just been adding bits of this and bits of ingredients into this.
In a car and you just you don't realise you're going, but the car looks like it's not going anywhere.
Exactly, yeah. So it was just like pulling together all these ingredients, and then we wrote the course. I think we had 10 people on the first training, which was amazing. They go off and do their own cacao trainings, and then we've been doing them since 2021. Obviously, then I moved into a bigger venue for my cacao ceremonies. I had like 22 people, and that was during COVID as well, which was fucking amazing. And people just turning up, people wanting the healing, people wanting the like awakenings, people wanting the truth. Do you know what I mean? People wanting this alternative way of being, of thinking, of actually getting people in their power, of going ultimately like a benevesha, you know, remove the fear of death. If you remove the fear of death, none of this matters. Yeah, you'll be powerful. Yeah, aparigraha. So aparigraha is to let non-attachment. If you've got practiced aparigraha, non-attachment, so everything's good. Go and walk whenever you want to fucking walk. You're not a dog, yeah? You also don't have a master. So you are your own master. The only master you have to answer to is the creator, is God. Nobody in a fucking shirt and tie, yeah? The power's within you. You are your own guru. So it's giving people that back. When I started teaching yoga, I was giving that people back, especially to women. It's like, you're powerful. You know, no man owns you. You're powerful. Be the powerful goddess. It's like giving people that power. Don't put up with bullshit. Whoever you are, don't put up with bullshit. Yeah, create good boundaries. Create good, like, this is what I will accept in my living room. Yeah, this is what I'll accept outside. If someone crosses that boundary, boom, cut them out. Yeah, doesn't matter if you've been friends with them for 19 years. If they're not heightening your vibration, cut them out. Yeah, that's how it should be.
And if they then change and grow and come back into alignment, brilliant.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
But don't let someone pull you down, man. Everyone wants to keep you small. Don't forget where you're from.
Well,
how can I forget where I'm from? What does that mean? Like, I can't have a big house. I can't move to another place. I can't become rich. Would that make me forget where I'm from?
As long as you just keep being authentic.
Exactly.
That is like where I'm from in this moment.
And if I do something amazing, more people from where I'm from will go, well, he did it. Why can't I do it?
It's possible.
Exactly.
That's the big thing. Oh, shit. It's possible.
Yeah.
I think that's why I get triggered a lot. A lot of the stuff I'm trying to do,
it
ain't really been done before. Or at least the way I'm doing it hasn't been done before. And it's like, so many people are like, but don't you need to, and shouldn't you just, and I'm like, and like, I got all my money, and I mean, my money has gone into what I believe in.
Yeah, man.
And if that goes to shit, I'm fine with that.
Well, it can't go to shit. It can't go to shit because you're going to have learned so much from doing it. It's an investment regardless.
The thing is, there's something in me that knows. Yeah. And I know, people might say, oh no, it's delusion. No, it's not trying to convince me. That's the difference. It's not trying to go, but no, it just,
yeah.
And it's like a little wink, just a little nod, just, you know, like, and it's like, I went on a podcast and they were asking me to speak about meditation and helping it get in touch with your intuition. Yeah. And I was like, once you just quiet and you stop trying to fix everything and you just go, I'm content with this moment and I'm going to sit with it. Yes, it's painful, but suffering isn't pain. Suffering's a resistance to the pain. So if I just... And what is love? Love is just full attention. It creates a bridge. The consciousness is the love. And when you put your focus on it, and if you send love anywhere, it's only going to get better. It's only going to get better, but not, and this was the trick, and I don't know if you've had this, not to get rid of it. So I'm going to feel this, so you fuck off. I'm going to hear you, so you just shut up and get out of my way. You've got to, with
it's just like, what is this?
Love. You stay as long as you need.
Love. That's what cacao's about. It's like, if you can bring all the toxins, all the problems, all the issues you've had in your life, all the beefs, all the traumas, all the abuse, if you can bring it love, it heals it. Yeah. And then if you give it love and you can appreciate it, then you can blossom. And that's what cacao's trying to make people remember. You cannot change the content of your life. You can change the context in which you view it. So make sure you view it as a positive, because that's what will make you stronger and more powerful. And the worse you've had it, the more beauty that you're going to create to the
You
world.
can alchemize it, mate.
Exactly, man. Elastic band theory.
Polarity, innit? If you want to go up there, you have to balance it.
yeah.
There has to be that balancing act. Why you want someone else to do that side for you? Sorry, you're going to say that.
No, elastic band theory is like the further you pull something back in the darkness, it's like Ram Dass would say, God, give me more suffering, because he knows that, because Ram Dass knew that the more suffering he had, the closer he'd get to God. So when you pull something back into the darkness and you let go, bang, it goes so far into the light. Whereas most people are teetering around between this dark and light, dark and light, dark and light. Just here in the middle bit. Oh, go a little bit into the light. Oh no, I'm not going to go and view that though, because that's scary. And so I'm not going to go that far into the light. And that's why a lot of people on the spiritual, like, I go to an event and I give it people straight, and I'm like, who's been coming here year after year? And they're like, I'm like, it's not fucking working, is it? It's like, you're still coming. Are you listening to anything that people are telling you? You've got to take action. Turn up. Fucking what? So, like, some people would look at me now. If I didn't have these beads on, they just think I was a normal guy. You know what I mean? Maybe, but long hair. If I didn't have the beads on, like, I'm not wearing my regatta, my spiritual costume today. But then there'll be somebody who's got the full regatta on, and they don't know shit. Yeah? But people are overlook me because I've just got a pair of jeans and a t-shirt on, and I'm quite happy with that. But that person who's got all the gear on and no idea, all the gear and no idea. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, it doesn't mean shit. It doesn't mean shit. It's like, do the work, man. Go to them dark places. And actually, like, a lot of people say to me, why are you so, like, bump on it? I'm like, well, somebody's told me, like, if I follow these steps, I'll get this. So why would I miss a couple of the steps out? Like, what? Why? Oh, because it's difficult? No, I'm going to do them steps, man. Like, when a millionaire says to me, the way to make more money is to give more money away, I'm going to give more money away.
He clearly knows what he's talking about, right?
He's fucking got a track record. I'm not going to listen to my business studies teacher who works in a college who's got no successful businesses and he's got a mortgage and he's not in abundance. Why would I get business advice off that fucker?
It's like sometimes I'll see like a healer or a teacher at an event and I'm like, no offense, bro, but you look fucking ill. You know what I mean? Like, yo, you do not look well.
Yeah, man.
Either you're taking everyone else's shit and you haven't learned how to release it, or this is bullshit. And Now, I am mindful of time.
No, let's crack on, man. I'm enjoying it. Right. So as long as you want,
brilliant.
Let's go with you now, because I'm enjoying.
I want you to imagine you're speaking to somebody who doesn't have a clue what cacao was, like when you met Arkeith, yeah? What is cacao? Why are you so passionate about it? And not just the chemical, like, it's got theobromine, but like that other side that you speak of, that spirit, the mama cacao side. So you just give the audience as if you've never even heard of it before.
So cacao is a plant medicine, like ayahuasca, like all these other things. You might never have heard of them as well, but all chocolate is made from cacao. Cacao is grown 20 degrees either side of the equator, so it's indigenous to Central and South America. However, 80% of the world's cacao or chocolate comes from Africa. It's monoculture, it's mono-farmed, it's usually using a lot of chemicals, it's genetically modified, and it's using a lesser quality of cacao. Cacao is like wine. Yeah, you've got your creme de la creme, £200,000 bottle of wine, and you've got your bullshit box of wine from Sainsbury's that cost you £3. Yeah, and when people first heard of cacao, especially on Dragon's Den, they were like, well, why is yours this price? And why is that one that price? Because
you get what you paid for.
You get what you paid for. And then people will, I'm not going to try that. It's a bit, they go there and then someone's like, oh, right, wow, get it. I understand now. It's like bump. And actually the price of our cacao, for the grade that it is and the quality it is very reasonable. We kind of sit mid-range price-wise. But what cacao is doing, scientifically, it's pumping more oxygen around your brain. It's clearing and cleansing the capillaries and the arteries around your heart. So it's allowing you to get out of the head into the heart. Yeah, which is what most of us want to do, because the mind of the soul is in the heart. The brain is just a muscle that, people like, forget about the mind. No, it's good, because you won't be able to pick your cup up without it.
You can't forget about the lungs or the heart either.
Yeah. So when you get out of your mind and you're on like mushrooms or like acid, you try and like realize where you put stuff back that's come out of the fridge. It's impossible. Yeah, so you need the mind, and you need the mind to be operating high functioning, like, and get the use things that create more space for the mind. But the oxygenation, that's what a lot of people find amazing. So for meditation, you're less in the mind. For people who've got like constant, like chitavritti, we call it, like the washing machine thoughts of the mind, cacao just softens it. So cacao softens everything, especially like cacao's an adaptogen as well. So whatever's people are like, I've got high blood pressure, is it good for high blood pressure? I've got low blood pressure, is it good for low blood pressure? I'm like, it's an adaptogen. Whatever's out of balance, it'll bring it into harmony. So whether it's high or low, it'll bring it into harmonization. So really good for women. High magnesium content, which is great for the brain as well. High iron content, which is what women are getting depleted of during build up to period, during the period, perimenopausal, menopausal. So it's amazing for women because it helps them. We get emails every day just saying, yo, like, this has changed my periods, like game changer for me. Your cacao specifically. I've tried other cacaos, and I don't know why it's our cacao. Obviously, I always say to people, try everything. Like with yoga teachers, with meditation teachers, go and try everyone. Because I've learned some great things from yoga teachers that I don't think are very good. And I'm like, oh, the way they did that was like, I've never seen that. I don't like your class. I don't like the. You might not.
But
you might not be for me.
Oh, I don't want to do that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's like, oh, wouldn't I do that? Why have they not done that? I'm going to add that in because I think it inspires me. So I can get, like we said about your dad being a dickhead or abuse. It's like, it's what I don't want to be. So it's like, you learn from everything. So yeah, in terms of like, as a consciousness, so that Lady Cacao is wanting every person in the world to be living their life purpose. When everyone's living their life purpose, there's no anxiety, there's no depression. There's like, we're in the now, present. Yeah. If you're living your life purpose, you're happy, man. Do you know what I mean? It's like, you can only be happy living your life purpose. Might not always be easy. Yeah. There's going to be ups and downs. Like, people are going to die. Shit's going to not work. Human. You're still in a human.
You just need the why to be more important than the what.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So it's, that's the mission. When I was in Keith's ceremony and it didn't like hit home for years and years later, and he was like, cacao's going to take over from coffee. Cacao is going to take over from coffee by 2032. And this was in 2012 when I was sat with Keith. And I'm like, oh, this guy's full of shit, man. And then 2022 was when, like 2020, it started popping for me. Midpoint in 2022, I was like, oh man, like, this could really happen. Then
how did it feel as well? Because you've been doing the drugs beforehand, but now it's this.
Yeah.
Did it feel like?
Oh, it's better because when I'm sleeping at night, I don't think about the police might come and get me out of my bed, man. Sleep a lot better. I'm still selling a drug. It is still a drug. It's still something that like, why wouldn't they could ban it? Like, why is cannabis illegal? You know what I mean? Like, actually, if the government knew what I'm going to do with this product globally, like, they'd stop me. But they don't know. So I can do it. Do you know what I mean? I'm changing the consciousness. I'm changing the habits. If I can get everyone drinking cacao instead of coffee every morning, the world's going to instantly change. The hearts are going to open.
You know what I mean? Billions of instant change. There we go.
You know, why drink a cup of anxiety when you can drink a cup of love? That's our big thing.
That's
like,
a phrase.
Why do that to yourself? Coffee is putting you into your sympathetic nervous system, puts you into fight and flight response, makes you a little bit anxious, a little bit jittery. Yeah, it's like swimming in a sea of razor blades. It's like, fuck, it's a bit edgy. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I'm going to get through the day. Oh, I'm struggling a bit. Have another coffee. Bang. Right. Okay, I'm on it. Bang, 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 bang. Your adrenals are going, like you're in fight and flight. Cacao, parasympathetic nervous system. Yeah. Creative, empowered, inspired, full of love. Yeah. So it's got the bliss molecule in it. It's the only food in the world with the fucking bliss molecule in it, man. Yeah? Anandamide, the bliss molecule. Why don't you want to put that in your body every fucking day?
Bliss? Not for me.
Oh, no. Barbara, we're not having any of that fucking bliss. Yeah? I've had enough fucking bliss. I'll stick to tea.
I'll have trouble with anxiety.
Don't have that long-haired, fucking bun-haired bastard putting bliss into you, Barbara. I'm not having it. But no, anandamide helps to release manageable amounts of serotonin, dopamine, phenylethylamine, tryptophan, which are all like your bliss chemicals. So when you take ecstasy and all that, it totally depletes your bliss chemicals.
Okay.
Whereas cacao's allowing manageable amounts of them to be released. So it's a natural. The most important thing about cacao is it's a natural fucking antidepressant. Yeah, we're in a mental health crisis globally, which is good because the world's fucking mental, so we should be in a mental health crisis. If we wasn't, it'd be like, whoa, guys, like, are you not seeing this?
This is actually okay.
Brilliant. Like, it's brilliant. We're in the perfect place. But then this is helping people through. It's supporting people, empowering them and inspiring them. And it's like, what changes do you need to make? Yeah. It's like that little, I had a beautiful email after Dragon's Den. This woman, she was like, I've been struggling. I've never got time to sit down. She went, every week I go, right, I'm going to sit on my chair in my kitchen. I'm going to stay here for 5 minutes. She went, I pretend I'm strapped to it. And she went, sometimes I don't make the 5 minutes. It's very rare that I make the 5 minutes, but I'm desperate to get up. She went, I had a cup of your cacao. I sat on my chair and I think I was there for about 25 minutes. I've never, ever done it. And she went, I was just looking out my window, like, enjoying my garden and watching 2 blackbirds stake claim for a patch of grass on my garden. And I read this out to my office and I was like, guys, this is why we're doing it. This is why because people go, Liam's about the money.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I am. Because the more money I'm making, the more people I'm serving. Yeah, that's how it is. Yeah, so I was like, guys, this is, and everybody it was an emotional moment in our office a couple of days after Dragon's Den. And he was like, guys, this is why we're doing it. Like, fucking Patsy from Coventry has just been on a seat for 25 minutes. Do you know how important that is? Do you know how important that is? And it's like beautiful things like that happening all the time. People, you know, Liam, like what I say, I've been struggling with my periods, the build up to my period for 17 years. Since my first ever period, I've been ill as fuck. And she's like, I've just come on my period without knowing I was coming on my period. She was like, usually 5 days before, I'm in agony. And she went, the first time I've ever come on my period without knowing I was coming on it. I was like, fuck. And just honestly, mate, literally since Dragon's Den and before Dragon's Den, I even told them on Dragon's Den, and I get an email every day saying this has changed mainly women's lives. And I mean, it's fucking powerful. And that's what hooked them in. I didn't have to give them any spiel on Dragon's Den. I just went in there, smashed it. The only bit I was nervous about was the pitch at the beginning because it was scripted. After that, I was like, you're in my cacao ceremony. I'm giving you a fucking amazing opportunity. And you've got no idea what cacao's going to do in the next 10 years. And I know, and I'm giving you an opportunity to be part of that.
This is your chance.
Yeah. I keep saying that to every time I see Gary, I'm going, this is going to be your best ever investment. And he still don't believe me. So,
the first time I ever heard about you, I'm coming downstairs. I mean, because we're at my mum's right now whilst we're getting the van converted to live in. And she just had the end of Dragon's Den on. And Gary Neville's on it. So obviously being a big United fan, I'm like, Gary Neville's on Dragon's Den. And you were the one that was on it.
Yeah.
And she's like, he's from Manchester, him. And da-da-da-da-da. And then next thing you know, I'm looking at my socials because I am in the city. And everyone's, well done, Liam. Da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
You probably don't even know. I messaged you to be like, well done. Da-da-da-da. But who am I? And you probably got about 100,000 people messaging you on Instagram.
Mate, these close friends of mine that I've got, I need to... And I go, oh, fuck, they sent me a message, like, after... literally...
So Meditation with Michael's like...
There was just... No one was getting anywhere.
I didn't take it personal, bro. I'm one of them. It's called third door in it. You've got the club. You've got the club where there's the queue and you can line up to get in. Normal way of doing it. You've got the VIPs. They're so you're in. You've got the third doorers. They get in through the back door. They bribe the fucking bouncer. They get in through the kitchen. Like whatever. They make friends with the guy in the queue. That's what I do. I third door it, and 80% of people don't get back to me, and that's fine. But then I kept, for some reason, I don't know why, because there's so many cool people, I kept getting drawn to you. I don't know why. I want to get him on the show. And it was the cacao, because nobody else is doing, like, I've not had somebody out, but there's something about this dude. And business-wise, I thought it'd be great exposure. Yeah, let's not pretend I'm not trying to grow something. But it was something else. There was something. And now that we've had this conversation, and it's like, for me, like, I'm like, this is a guy I'm so happy to have even just had this experience with. Now I get to share it with other people as well.
Thank you, brother.
That's an absolute bonus. The fact that he knows Gary Neville is a cherry on top.
No, but I'm over the moon that we got to do the podcast, because it's obviously through Craig, wasn't it? I think it was.
Yeah, Craig Seaton. So for those who haven't seen episode 2, that's with Craig Seaton. It's fantastic breath, lucid dream,
amazing,
and that's not
amazing
touching
guy
on it. Kundalini, all that. But I saw that he'd been on your podcast. Was it Full Power Podcast?
Full Power Podcast, yeah.
And I just thought, why not? Let's just drop another message, because you were also on, remember Nina? Is it Gnosis?
Yeah, Gnosis.
And I worked with her randomly at a PPI company.
Okay.
And I just seen her when you were on it, and I'm like, I kept seeing you popping up, and I was getting jealous. I was like, why is he not on season 2 of Who on Earth? Do you know what I mean? This podcast I've just created last year. Like, why is he not coming on? And the fact that you're here now, I'm like, it's almost a bit like, surreal. When you've been wanting something, and then I manifested it. But I believe in meeting the universe halfway.
Totally.
Yeah, manifest.
And you got to hustle. Like,
you've got to do something though. Like, this is a material realm that needs action in. And that's why I thought, I'll just ask Craig. We'll see if Liam fancies it. Yeah. And then you said,
and that's what I mean. You like, without Craig, you wouldn't have gotten in, because I didn't know you. I'm like, if I'm aware of people, but I don't go on social media. I have a social media team now. I'm very like, I create boundaries where I'm creating barriers around me in a good way, like a positive way. It's like I'm like, right, that person's just got to me with this email or this. Yeah. How do we prevent that? Because I don't know who they are. So I'm always with my team. You can't be at the mercy
of the world.
No, totally.
That's not on.
No, but that's also a thing that I teach people, and like, it's crazy, man, to think that like people come up to me and ask me about business now. I'm like, it's like a little bit like the cacao ceremony when someone said, "Will you teach me about a cacao ceremony?" I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. And business, I don't really know what I'm doing, but I'm just doing it. And I have got some good insights, and I do things a little bit differently. And everything that we do, I'm like, we've got to always go back. We're here to serve. Like, and if we are serving, so there's a book by a guy called MJ DeMarco. It's called, I think one of them's called Fast Lane Millionaire, and one's called Side Hustler or something. Sidewalker. And he's fucking brutal, man. He's like, about people and lives and how people just not the normal shit that people do. And he's like, it's fucking stupid. Do you know what I mean? It's like, get yourself in debt, get married to someone that you don't really like because you're supposed to, and the society expects you to.
Go do that job.
Buy a dog. Buy a dog that you can't afford your house, but you've bought a dog that could have cost you more money, and you're going to have that dog for at least 10 years. He went, and then the dumb fuckers go, we'll have a baby. You can't afford your house, you can't afford your dog, and now you're having a fucking baby. He's like, and he's American, so he's like, these fucking stupid motherfuckers. I'm like, and I just love the way he's like spits it. But one of his things is like, two big things that I remember from his book is, one is like, every purchase that you make should be like buying chewing gum. He said, so if it's not like buying chewing gum, don't buy it.
In what sense?
Well, have you ever thought about how much chewing gum costs?
Right.
Exactly. So everything you buy should feel the same as buying chewing gum. You shouldn't be worried about how much it costs. I can already feel the triggers.
Genuinely, I've had this thing with money for a long time. And
I did, mate. I've had to fucking shed. I was tight as fuck. Brought up in poverty consciousness, like blocks, hoarding, nervousness, like thinking money was evil. Especially when you get spiritual, it's even better because it's like, like capitalists or and I was like, all into this stuff. But it's like, it's like now it's like with my business, people are like, why do someone who works and packs cacao for me should not be paid the same as me, because I created my own business. Do you know what I mean? It's like when I was working fitting windows for my mate who owned the window company, I would never think of I should be on the same amount of money as him. So it's his business, it's his creation. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, it's really interesting. And I always say to people, you ain't gonna get rich working for anyone.
That was the big one.
Don't get you ain't gonna if you have a salary, you've put a ceiling. The universe doesn't have a ceiling. Don't put a ceiling on yourself.
I like that.
And so the other one from MJ DeMarco is, when you are serving, when you've got a product, make sure that the value that person is getting from your product, who's paying for it, is at least seven times worth more than what they've give you for it. So they're getting 7 times the value from that.
I think that might be half my issue. I undervalue so much. People do you know Leo Oppenheim? Yep. So he was on the show, and I told him afterwards, because I do floating meditation journeys where you're in hammocks. I'm also a storyteller, like I said. I use storytelling, meditation, and music, because I do the ecstatic dance, to create a journey of the imagination, and you're just in the hammocks. He said, how much are you charging? And I said, 20 quid. He said, and I was doing a cacao ceremony at the start of it, not nearly, of course, to your level, but it was like, he was like, are you charging 20 quid? How long did that story take you to write? And I'm like, like weeks. I'm writing it. I've created a story. And what about all the practices? that you're
and
incorporating
all the trainings
into
you've
it.
paid to do before it.
And it's like, and you're
Yeah.
the reason you're doing that is because you've taught yourself you aren't worth it.
Exactly, man.
Why aren't you worth it, bro? Look. And it's like, and I'm still got that now, but I feel inspired, so that's why I thought I'd mention it.
But it's all a process, a purge. Like I had another, I have there's still blocks in me. Like there was one that come up about, I can't remember what it was. It was something like some poverty thing with my dad, and I was like, oh fuck, man, like I've still got that. I need to get rid of that. That's like gone, bang, gone. Things like a good one my mate taught me was, he was at my house, the guy who I wrote the course with for the cacao training, and we were like, I was getting flyers done for the cacao training, like, to promote it. And I'm like looking online, but he's like, what are you doing? Have you not got them leaflets yet? He went, oh yeah, but it's £6 cheaper here. I'm just seeing where I can get. He was like, bro, just fucking order the leaflets. I was like, what do you mean I can get them cheaper? He went, yeah, but your time's worth more than the £10 that you might. And I was like, oh.
It's like the people who buy shit and they have to keep replacing it.
Oh, fuck. It was like a light bulb moment. It's like, my time's worth more than that. And with, it's like, it's what you were saying then about your event. It really reminds me of, there's a story about Picasso, when someone comes up to Picasso in a cafe. He's like, can you just do a drawing on this napkin? He's like, yeah. And the guy said, oh, thank you very much. He was like, no. That's £5,000. And the guy went, you've just drawn a thing on a napkin. He went, no, I've not just drawn a thing on a napkin. He went, I've been studying art for 30 years. I wouldn't have been able to draw that without the 30 years of hard work that I've put into creating and honing my craft. So that'll be £5,000, thank you very much. And the person's like, I can't believe it. And he's spot on. He is spot on. That's his
still
work.
Feel the triggers going tonight, Baz.
No, but
give everything for free.
No, because that's your work. Yeah, if you, like, people have said you should be teaching yoga for free. It's like, what? I'm not here. And actually have to go and work and be stressed and turn up to my yoga class.
Well, I had one of my old lot, because I've come from the ends, Manchester, and one of my mates is like, oh, but you're teaching meditation and you charge people. I thought you were meant to be all. They didn't like that. They thought I was preaching and whatever. Yeah. And I was like, yeah, but I don't pay bills with goodwill, mate. They won't have it.
But also, man, but it gives value to the person. I trust you. People, if you're giving your services away for free, people don't respect it.
Right.
People are not interested. And people will say they're coming and they won't come. Once they've put an investment into it, they'll be there, they'll show up. And you're actually charging them for their evolution, for something that's better than...
You're not screwing them at the end of the day, are you?
Like, man, like, people
have
come to my retreats and gone, mate, like, I would have paid 5 times for that. People have come to my cacao ceremony and gone, your cacao ceremony changed my life. I was like, I only charge you 40 quid for that. Do you want to give us another 4 grand? And they're like, it's a fair point. And I'm only joking. Like, to have a massive breakthrough, do you know the amount of money people spend, the amount of money people spend on getting themselves better, on cosmetic surgery, on this, on that, on like self-wellness, on retreats, on this, like, you know what I mean? It's like, if you can give them one bit that makes everything okay, that's priceless, man. It's priceless. So it's like, just to value yourself and, like, fucking hell, man. Like, people want me to go and teach. Now it's like, it's expensive because I'm expensive, but so's everybody else. So it's realizing your expensiveness, and that's everybody is golden. Christ conscious energy is about abundance. Yeah. And it's like, step into the abundance. Why would you not want to have the opportunity to have anything that you want? Yeah. You could be living in the van. Great, amazing. But if you've got 100 grand in the bank and you've got an infinite amount of money, it makes everything that you have to do in that van easier. Yeah. You can go and book a David Lloyd. Yeah. You can go and have a day in a spa. Yeah. You can enjoy your time in your van.
Massages a week.
Get your 2 massages. It doesn't matter. I'm not saying don't live in a van. Beautiful experience. I've got loads of friends who live in vans.
But I'm not doing the
it's
van
amazing.
As a monetary thing. I am trying to stop expenses. That was the initial thing.
Yeah.
But then
it's an experience,
the seed
man.
got planted. What kind of adventure is that going to be?
Yeah.
Is there anything else that you feel we haven't touched on that's just important to just... Because we can't sum a person up in a bloody podcast episode. Do you think there's something that we've missed out that you just like people to know?
Nah, just check out Full Power Cacao.
So where can people find you then?
www.fullpowercacao.com. at Full Power Cacao on all the socials. My socials are Liam Browne Love on Instagram, Facebook. My personal website is liambrowne.com, where you can book out like the facilitator trainings, the cacao ceremonies. We are doing it's probably the biggest cacao ceremony ever in the world on Sunday in Bowden Rooms in Manchester. There'll be about 250 people there.
I wish you'd told me I'm putting on a community walk.
Well, if some people hadn't turned up, you know where they are. Right. But we've just booked another venue, Wythenshawe Forum, which will be double the amount of capacity. So we should get about 350, 400 people in there. That, again, will be the biggest cacao ceremony ever in the world. And people will be like, I did a cacao ceremony at a festival and there was 1,000 people there. I went, but was it just the cacao ceremony? My thing is just the cacao ceremony. Okay. Just the cacao ceremony with Liam Browne. Is there anyone in the world doing bigger ones than us? And that's not to mean that they're any better than anyone else is. But they're mine. It's the only place in the world where you can get a Liam Browne cacao ceremony.
I mean, your passion about it spills from everything that you say. Like, even,
and I do it differently. Like, I am committed to making positive change for people, for pushing them, for triggering them, for making them uncomfortable, for swearing, for making them breathe, for making them purge. I've got an opportunity to someone sit in a plant medicine ceremony with me. I want them to leave there upgraded with a better thirst for life, with inspiration, with action to get rid of the things that aren't serving them, to make a commitment to do something positive the day after the cacao ceremony that they need to do. Whatever you need to do it tomorrow. Commit today. And I don't go and ask each other person, but I'm like, do it. Do it, man. Like one little change, one incremental, like, what's it called? Kashana or something in yoga. It's like an incremental piece of...
Well, do atomic habits, little atomic changes.
Yeah, so one tiny thing over and over again can lead to something. You know, planting the seed, bump, you've got an oak tree or whatever you've got. It's just like, just to make sure, I'm committed to making sure that people leave, like, they're entertained, but they're also like filled with inspiration and knowledge and connection to source, connection to the Christ conscious energy, which is what I work with. And the Christ conscious energy is about...
For someone who's got like Christ, or he's one of them, what do you mean by that?
Christ conscious energy is just the energy of unity consciousness, which is kind of like the ultimate goal of yoga. Yoga is about self-realization and enlightenment.
Know thyself.
Some people think it's fucking stretching. Like, you don't need arms and legs to be a yogi. You don't need arms and legs to be the best yogi in the room.
You could just be breathing.
You could just be breathing. There's different types of yoga. The asana was just put in there so that people could sit in meditation. You get everything from meditation. Like you said, going into the quiet. Like, I was doing a lot of breathwork meditations, a lot of like different meditations. And recently I've gone back into just like silence, and loads of stuff's coming through. And I'm like, oh, right, fuck, I needed the silence, man. I needed the silence.
Well, you know what silence is? It's the same side of stillness, and it's also the same side of spaciousness. All three are the same thing. So if you're still and you're silent, you create the space for what needs to be processed and alchemized and transmuted to be released. And then clarity comes. Oh, what a shock. The water is no longer muddy. I can see the bottom again.
Yeah.
I really appreciate you taking the time to come on. This has been one of my most enjoyable ones.
Oh, thank you.
I love everyone who's been on, but you brought that humour, which I really resonate with. I think the world needs more of that.
Yeah. And if you laughed more than 3 times during the podcast, donate! Yeah, because laughter is like priceless, man. So donate to the podcast.
And then now I'm feeling like feeling abundant. So it's all coming back.
The abundance calling.
The website's up and running. We'll get you on the community links page. Hopefully this is the start of something as well. I'd love to. Go and check him out. Go down to I'll put all the stuff in the description anyway for people. Sweet. And for those who are watching the yoga, that's...
The podcast.
The podcast. Look at the new branding.
Sexy, baby.
Looks good, that, doesn't it?
Looks expensive, mate.
It looks like professional and that.
It's pro, man.
Gary Neville, though, is that you before that?
Eh?
Is that after the investment after the Dragon's Den? Or is it a bit of what you already had?
Do you know what, man? Like the investment, it's just to have their name. Like, the investment. Right. Yes, the investment helped with buying product for the craziness of the BBC, but we were doing well, and we've done everything organic. Like, it's just like I've never been into getting into debt. Like, I don't understand people who have credit cards. It's like, it was when I had an overdraft, it's not my money. I was like, I don't want an overdraft. If I'm in it, it's like bang. So it's like, we've just done everything when the time's right, when we've had the right amount, like, because we've been talking to other businesses who are like a couple of £1 million in debt because they've got, when you look at it and you go, fuck, they're smashing it, but they're a couple of million debt. And like, we're always doing well. We speak to Peter Jones's team and they're like, your figures are amazing. And we're like, it's like, yeah, because I used to be a drug dealer, man. It's like, did anyone else who got these businesses used to be a drug dealer? It's like, you got to make it work. Yeah, and we are grafters. Like, we're from Manchester. We're from a council estate.
Not the Glazers.
Most people who work for me are from Wythenshawe. Yeah, so we all graft, man. It's like, if you come into my office and you can't graft, you won't be there for very long. It's like, we have fun. Yeah. If you come in my office, man.
But that's what I like what you're bringing to this. This hasn't been like pulling teeth for me. This hasn't been one of those. No one has, to be honest. But there's something that's felt very natural and flow. You were like 3:45, Mike. I don't even know what time it is, but this has been really enjoyable. I hope people at home who have been listening and watching have enjoyed it as much. Go check him out, guys. Thanks for coming, bro.
Nice one, bro. Thank you. Hey. Namaste.
I told you it was a funny one. That was definitely the most I've laughed in an episode. It was, do you know what? I think we sometimes get a bit too heal this trauma, that trauma. We get all stuck into this sacred. Why so serious? Bring in that Liam energy. That Liam energy just made me feel refreshed afterwards. And if you haven't already, go and check out Full Power Cacao. Cacao. He is a cacao boy and he's giving you the best stuff because I've tried different ones. That one is the one I buy, not because he's been on the show. I was doing it beforehand. That's why I asked him to come on the show. And if you haven't already got his book, Dealer to Healer, well, sounds pretty cool already, doesn't it? Dealer to Healer, it's in the name. So find out more about him on a deeper level. And they've got that ceremony. So on the 23rd of March, if you want to find out, like 350 people, it's one of the biggest cacao ceremonies that you're going to even attend. Why not? I'm gutted. I can't make it. I got a VIP sort of invite and it's like, well, nah, I'm going to be sat there in 10 days just being silent, meditating, which to be honest, I love, but you could have waited a few days. Now, the conversations like this, they don't end when the episode does. So if it sparked like a thought or maybe something me and Liam says challenged you or you're just seeing things in a different way, let me know. Drop a comment. Share it with someone who you think might love it and hit subscribe because that means you're not going to miss any of the fantastic guests that I've got coming up. And the next one, episode 8, you might not know about it. It's a bit of a new, it's called Soul Bank. It's a new studio in Manchester, but it's really high quality. It's a beautiful place. I can't wait to try and do some sort of dance or meditation there myself. But Jamie was kind enough to let us actually film an episode. I've said his name. I've not even told you who it was. Yeah, it's with Jamie Allays, the founder of Soul Bank. People like Craig Seaton from episode 2 in season 1, they work with him because he's trying to do things a different way, bringing that scientific and spiritual sort of vibe together so we can hit that sweet point. So that's going to be coming in a couple of weeks, the day before Mother Passana. Also, for Liam, I'll put all the details, so all these events, his book, the Full Power Cacao will all be in there. He's even got his own podcast, Full Power Podcast. People like Gary Neville and that on it, because obviously he has been on Dragon's Den there, boys, now, so that's pretty cool. So go check that out. I'll put all that in the description and the links for Transmute as well, because I've just been there doing a conscious cinema night, but there's so many other things like the Gong Bass, my floating meditation journey, which will be on the 9th of March. The Eternal Sands of Egypt, it's as cool as it sounds. We're using ancient Egyptian mythology to go and just explore eternal life and what that means. Or on the 14th of March, I'm doing another liberation, that's ecstatic dance. That's the movement meditation. This one's movie night. I'm only allowed to use music from movies, from TV shows, or a remix of them. So we're going to use nostalgia in a skillful way to just channel archetypes like your favourite heroes, your villains, and all that. Liberating yourself from energy that sometimes we don't feel safe enough to do it. And trust me, I bring the beats. I don't sacrifice quality. So for myself, I'll put the links in the description. For Meditation with Michael, the website and all that'll be there for you. You can go check out what I've got coming up. We've already sold out on those ether drops, by the way. Do you remember in the last episode I mentioned the Dream Healer and the Amanita Muscaria? They have literally flown off the shelf. We're making a new batch, but I do have some cool other people bringing in their products on the Meditation with Michael store. So yeah, loads of stuff coming for you. Check it out in the description. But for now, go and get yourself a cup of lovely Mama Cacao. Mama Cacao. Gracias por su medicina. And let that heart open to what life can bring. Thanks for staying till the end. It's much appreciated. I love you. Peace and love, guys.